matchup here.
This is going to be the best matchup of the day, chat.
You've got yourself a ton of talent here, Vicky. Obviously, I think Chime and Stinkers aren't talked about enough. Stinkers, a very good Wolverine, one of the better ones, right up there with what we've seen with Days and Friends. But got to talk about it. It's that new back line, right? You get Velocity going to FlyQuest, bring in Hoodie and Aztec coming over there from the OCE region.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they're able to pick up this Korean backline, playing on ping, by the way, and still finding the communication that they need to help kill for them, even when...
I have to throw this trash away.
Just yesterday, it was a target ban on that backline, and they still were able to make the adjustments that they needed. I think this showcases that this backline has been able to flow really well with the rest of Shock.
Yeah, for sure. And I think these teams play very similar. You know, Window has just impressed me with the flexibility that he can bring as a Vanguard. He always looks like he's picking up somebody new, and Madara has been that staple anchor for no matter the team he's on. And so excited to see them, you know, try to get it rolling. Last time these teams met, though, in the preseason chip, it was Chime versus Delena, right? It was the Glartrox versus the Glartrox. That's not going to happen as much this time around. So now you have more of that front-to-back hit scan moments. I think that's going to open up a lot of these team wins.
NRG won. NRG won.
That little dive going.
100 Thieves won.
I think there's a ton of talent. And the thing is we look here at the recap of the preseason, obviously going NRG's way. The teams are very different.
What's
now,
up, Chocolate?
Especially NRG Shock. And you guys mentioned the back line. I just want to reiterate that. Aztec looked so good. Hoodie.
Chat looks split right now.
A ton of talent.
261 people for 100 Thieves, 143 for NRG. 4 million against 2.2 million.
That might be incredibly difficult. I think it might be a weak.
Everyone that's voting for NRG, I hope you guys know you're about to take $4 million away from those 100 frauds.
And then you had 100 Thieves take it back, but the first appearance of
you're gonna beat them.
And having Velocity as Loki and that bit of the defense there and the wall and the shock factor, I think, is ultimately what maybe took 100 Thieves down. And then it kind of spiraled from there. We saw 100 Thieves, you know, barely get into the playoffs from that, right? So they do want their revenge. How do they get it? What do they need to do? What's the key to success in your opinion?
Well, at least the fact that they don't have to worry about Velocity, right? Because Velocity went over to FlyQuest, right? It's not like you're going to be having those Loki clones to deal with on Shichibuya.
Such a fake friend. How am I a fake friend?
Look at the way that 100
I rather have a friend. If I look like shit and I tell my friend, hey, do I look good? Let's just say I'm going on a date with Emily and I have Chocolate visiting. And I'm like, hey, Chocolate, do I look good for my date? He says, absolutely fucking not. I'd rather have that friend than a friend that would lie to me. Thank you, Chocolate.
I think this is the way that you're.
I'd rather have a friend tell the truth
because this is going to be them leaning into that win condition.
Yeah, for sure. This is a map that is going to be pretty interesting, especially the way these teams want to play it. Now, when we are going to be heading here momentarily to the big ban phase ship, you know, we have 100 Thieves do the protect and ban Ultron. Very unconventional. We don't see that a ton. It's typically anti-dive. How scared are they of the dive that is NRG? I think we'll see that if that's what they want to try to roll with.
You act like they stuck.
Yeah, I mean, there is.
Well, if they're stuck, I'll help them.
Does a good job playing the Venom, and obviously.
Unless you mean suck. I don't think 100 Thieves sucks, chat. I think they just played against one of the weakest teams, so it doesn't. They didn't show me anything.
And man, I know right now. Was it Swamp Gaming said it's fake news, right? Got to get the Gambit ban. To give Gambit over to 100 Thieves is something for sure, Vic, as now the next ban comes in, being Luna.
That also shows
banning TTK's Devil Dinosaur, bro.
That TTK not only soaked up, but
damn. Does that mean TTK is going to go on Emma?
To follow up while NRG get to protect the Dino on their side. And you mentioned already, Cozy Madara also showcasing what that Devil Dino can do with the Mantis being the next ban for 100 Thieves.
Shit, me and you talked about it. We think this 100 Thieves backline is just disrespected, and I think that might be a little bit shown right here. Like, Millennia, show what you can do, right? If you're going to go on over, I believe that they'll be playing the Gambit over Winnie, if I were to guess here. But to answer the call back, I think that Luna ban is necessary. Have to go that route. Emma, in response, they're doing a lot of Vanguard target focus.
Yeah, it looks like they're going after TTK here. You know, trying to force potentially an Angel angle. There's some
Emma Frost is banned. Oh my god, bro! TTK has his Emma Frost and Devil Dinosaur banned, bro. Yo, TTK is gonna look like the real life Devil Dinosaur out there, bro. He's gonna be handless.
In response, but I think it's kind of throwing them off a bit. I don't know if they're gonna go with that route because the black.
He's gonna be handless.
It could be bait, by the way. That does happen here. Love the cap ban. I think at least that does shut down a little bit of what NRG wants to do. Last save, 100 Thieves.
Does that mean TTK is going to be on Angela?
Yeah, because then you think about the fact like Self knows how to be able to swap over to the Daredevil if you want to try to match
That's
that.
True.
But then obviously like the Ultron Protect that you were talking about before, if you want to lean into at least running the triple strat, if that's how you want to roll out on Domination.
Oh, they saved Deadpool.
Really good,
they saved the DPS
Deadpool
Deadpool.
tries to work into the Devil Devil Dinosaur composition too, if they're gonna have to try to match that.
That's very
Shiv, I was
interesting.
talking to
They
you about
saved
this,
the
I think, earlier
DPS
this morning, right? I
Deadpool.
was saying, hey, you've got to have the tank pool against the Dino if they're going to be banning other things out. You can get that XP up pretty quickly, and in domination, you get to keep that on over.
Wait,
right?
that's
so it's actually a
very
really good pick
interesting.
from them.
Unless they made
Like
a
it lot.
typo right there.
They're seeing the dual pool here, but yeah, it also does enable. Which I'm not sure if that's just a visual error.
Oh, it is
but
dual pool. Yeah.
But either way, it does enable the Jeff too, right?
It's
Jeff
it's
is
probably
very
tank
strong
pool.
Jeff
It's
map,
probably
without
tank
a doubt,
pool,
especially
Jack.
if they're going to be running
Probably
Dino. We
tank
talked about
pool.
those
There's
answers
no way
quickly
they-
using
they
ultimates. That's
saved
on the table
DPS
still, but getting
Deadpool,
that
bro.
Jeff team up is a problem. It helps peel your backline. It's aggro, gets you ult quicker. There's a lot of solutions
Unless
for that Jeff
unless
team up, which I think
TTK is
slipped on the
making his
ladder.
DPS
Hey,
debut
listen,
today.
I hope we see. I don't think we've seen 100 Thieves at all, and I think it would be Self play the dual pool, who's definitely climbed up. Obviously, Jitward was the one that's been playing that the most right now. I would expect Daredevil, especially against the Black Cat, but we're about to find out, folks. We got 100
Okay, chat,
Thieves
let's see
versus
this. Let's see
NRG,
this.
the middle of this pack
I think this is gonna be the
conversation.
best
Which
game of the
team
day,
has
Dan.
shown
The best
that
game
the
of the day.
off time has gone the distance.
see
The
it.
practice has been put to perfection. Shib, Vicky, enjoy this one. It's gonna be fun.
The prediction is in.
friend, as we go
400
in,
people
prepare for
with
some off-map stuff.
$5.4
Dino's gonna be
million
one-sided,
on
so
100 Thieves.
odds are they're looking to just
NRG has
essentially throw off as many
274
vanguards
people
off-map
with
as they
almost
can and just kinda play off the
$5 million
snowball competition
as
inside of
well.
NRG Shock.
Ooh, this is
I
a
was
big
really
bet, chat.
surprised.
This
I
is a
mean,
big
now
bet.
you get to protect the Deadpool, and
This
TTK
is a big
going to
bet.
roll out with it. It is going to be the tank pool coming
lot of money
in
on the line,
for
a lot of
100
money on the
Thieves.
line.
I like what I'm seeing. Self leading in to the Devil himself. It's time going to be with the Daredevil, but already
Appreciate
coming out of the
the
gates.
friend.
I know
Welcome,
Cozy had
welcome. How you
mentioned
doing?
Stinkers being on the Wolverine, and we're going to start things off with the portal play from
Let's get
Window
this.
Shib.
All right, and yes, we will be seeing a potential switch here from Window after the fact. Madara going in with that dinosaur as predicted. You can see TTK on that van pool, so yes, it was probably just a visual error there.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So TTK is on the tank Deadpool. Yeah, that was a visual thing.
It's just more so to stay healthy in that front line. That's the idea of what Van Pool
Oh,
can
shit,
do.
got
Still
you.
providing a ton of distraction and annoyance with that ultimate on the back line with the Van Hammer. Commitment starts up now. Both teams kind of feeling each other out, seeing what composition they are running and preparing for this fight. The tackle comes out quickly onto TTK, and the res is forced out as Madara cleans that up. TTK back in the fight. Self falls to Chime. It is Chime time right now as NRG are looking to take this point right back, and it looks like they just might up numbers at this current fight.
I can hear the chime of the bell ringing here in our ears. Time already stepping up to the plate on this Phoenix, especially here on Hell's Heaven, where everybody's trying to group up together to contest down mid. And now you have Winnie over to the left side, seeing Trust trying to get able to get more of a
Broken
extension
bombs
off of these
for
BRBs.
75
We did see one
months. I appreciate
earlier.
it.
The Chime
Absolutely
so
insane.
close and Song Inferno
And you
together
guys
with Aztec,
started
they want
a
combo and the Sia.
Golden Kappa train.
And the next fight begins. Getting point early is huge for the side of NRG, who want to stay as a unit, using those BRBs from Aztec to keep the team up. And Aztec's done a great job playing the Rocket over these last few days. There's that tackle. The bite comes in as Madara finds Self immediately on peel duty. Deletta trades it, though, with a front line of Window. And out goes the Sia. See if anyone gets any more value. It looks like the point is kind of just in a stalemate now. They're doing a good job just slowing things up, but Madara going to be in a dicey
Oh,
spot.
he's
with
gonna
that
need
map
help
change.
though. He's gonna need help. Uh-oh, chat.
Stinkers coming
Uh-oh.
into
Yo,
left
Benzie
field,
with the
followed
massive
together
5
with
gifted
Chime
subs
to
for a
take out
total of
Vinny,
2,006.
who is on that cap. Deletta
Damn.
does have the Galactic
Real
Legend
Dasho
that's
as
gonna
well
be
with
met
2 months.
Hoodie,
Appreciate it.
who's holding on to the
Fantastic with the
invisible
massive 100
boundary
bits. Appreciate it,
now,
guys.
but the 100 Thieves most win condition here, Shib, is going to be relying on that Ranger Royal Flush Self to making that swap up over to really utilize the Black Cat.
Oh, nice movement by Self right there.
It's gonna
That's
be
crazy.
in favor of NRG in this fight. Chime and the answer, the invisible boundary from a Hoodie. Both teams owning the height now. Chime trying to find that off-angle play from the cap. That is Vinny. Map change, and you can see now composition change from 100 Thieves. What they're initially running. That Gambit team up, or excuse me, Raging Royal Flush is available, and there is that commitment to combined ultimate.
Oh, that's
in the sky
unfortunate.
with the Galactic Legend. Is that?
Oh my God!
Tough team, but they're not able to clean that up. Good movement there from Deletta.
Fingers! I don't know how he grabbed
A ton
him.
of commitment it was out there for 100 Thieves. Ever more so than NRG as the Ensong Inferno comes down from Chime. Will this land? Using it as a distraction. Bang, it's going to get rid of any BRBs on the field too from Winnie. TTK able to find Madara in the chaos, and that retake will be there for 100 Thieves, but 92%.
Oh my
retake
God.
is massive for NRG.
That was such a good
Sarcasm.
answer
Appreciate massive
from
new tier
Chime,
ones up.
but the
Lamb
delay
Tom
on
with
the
the
banner
5
that you
gifted.
saw from
Slushy
TTK
with the
just
5
waiting in the
gifted.
end song in front of
And
Port,
Kel
diving down
Games with
and
a
also still calling out where the
1,000
BRB
bits
was
and
placed after they
lovely
retracted
appreciate
it
massive
to
100
wait
bits
out
as
the
well.
end of the end song Inferno from Winnie's side. They finally
Absolutely
flipped it, but
insane,
NRG
chat.
still have 92% on this point, and Shib, Stinkers, and Aztec have their ultimates for this next upcoming fight, together with the Sia and Madara on the rampage.
And there's that Sia now. Vinny able to find Chime as that goes down. Goodbye to the BRB. Great pick there from Self. On that Black Cat, looking to make it another pick. Now driving back towards the back line. Hoodie's in a dangerous spot. Good buy. Self able to find 2. Cleaned up. Make it 3. Why don't you? As they win that fight. But
the
again,
Black Cat, bro.
they're just trying not to overcommit too much. Self-committing ultimate in
Yo,
that
the
fight.
realest
Now gonna head and
Kyle
try
with
to
1,000
keep it going
bits and
potentially. Now
X
finally
art
gonna wait
with the massive
for that to
100 bits
die
as well.
out. But
Appreciate it, guys.
freedom charge available here for Vinny. You know what the goal is here. Stick on that back line, charge up those ultimates, and keep going.
Shiv, I know Cozy is sitting on the edge of his seat right now. He asked Self, when are we going to see the Black Cat? Are you not entertained right now? Vinny having the freedom charged and Lena close to the Galactic Legend, but it's going to be Madara, who also has that Rampage window too on the hold. It's going to let it rip here and go berserk. Over onto the back line too, but is immediately marked. You see that BRB that's right
that hold
behind
got
him,
deleted,
and
bro.
he immediately terrorized Window, who is going right back to the spawn room gates. And now you have the freedom charge here from Vinny to delay the inevitable because it's 100 Thieves that are nearing 80%.
It tries to set up a flank there, and I think it was outside of the range of the BRB, so that is just going to be more time here. 100 Thieves divide, just this percentage gain. They're already at 85% and climbing. TTK with ult available to Lena as well. Madara, the only answer here for NRG. It's going to be used to try to stall. TTK now on the back line, starts up with the commitment. Out goes a bunch of cooldowns, including the shield from the front line of Madara. The commitment goes out onto TTK. TTK with a ton of movement on this hero, and Overhealth is not stressed about it yet. Down with 300 HP. Out goes the freedom charge, or excuse me, the Raging Royal flush
it's an
and the
Fiesta
invisible
chat.
boundary to answer it right back. Is that going to be enough of an answer? To Lena up in the sky trying to find one, cannot. Nobody has gone down yet. The res comes through, and it's a 6v6 in a neutral fight as Lena finds the first pick.
You see Madara still chomping around while Chime has the end song Inferno.
It's even 5v5, 5v5, 5v5.
It's incredibly low. You get the end song Inferno harassing that backline, but Millennia is still up Self to follow up to find Aztec, and that's going to be the strategist struggling for NRG before 100 Thieves eventually flip this point back in their favor.
You can see now the res comes in onto Delena. It's anyone's fight as the portal now gets committed. Goodbye there to the front line of Window making the shift. Portal going to be another answer, just cutting off some of that LOS, forcing a weird position.
It's the Black Cat carry. They still got to support.
Great shots onto the dome of the cat, and Millennia's able to find one. Vinny now takes out a second, and that's 3, and this could be it here as 100 Thieves are trying to close the first map. It looks like they do.
They brought it
back and forth here.
What a way for them to go back into after making the swap of the
which is actually very crazy because NRG almost had their own rocket ult, but the rocket died, I think, at like 97, 98%. It could have went anyone's way.
You're trying to find the safe arms of your Phoenix to help heal
he has his ult. It could have went anyone's way, man.
And we can see here the stats across the board. It's pretty
universal.
universal.
For 4 months.
You can see Winnie and Millennia
Still
able to find some finals
with
on the
100
back line where Window obviously made the change there, was actually not running back line. So tough look there, just not able to find a ton of success on the Hulk, and tries to switch up a few times. Aztec falling 3 times.
Wait,
Hoodie
Window was 0 and 5 on Hulk with 0 final hits and 4,000 damage.
After the fact, bouncing back and holding on, keeping it virtually, actually 100% sweep. So that takes some really consistent comms and forcing out ultimates in positions that you maybe are not in an advantageous position.
Just not letting themselves off that point too, and the way that they were able to re-engage in a lot of these fights was Chef's kiss, and the way that they were also able to isolate these strategists too. Coming out of the gates though now, Shib, in round number 2, Aztec does have the Sia, and Self does have that Black Cat ultimate too.
Yo, the Booty Watcher,
but Millennia will have the rage
pay out NRG right now. Bro, NRG's still gonna, I believe.
We can see now, out goes.
We're gonna get a good game. We're gonna get a good game.
Oh my god, funky spots. Ensure the laser doesn't give up position too much, but as I say that, it will be seeing that great utilization of the ground. Now gonna make a huge commitment once more, but gets caught on the map. 50 HP, is able to move away. Huge shots there from Chime to clean up Self. Disgusting even, as Chime just tracks through all of that chaos. Lenny looking upward, trying to break a really well-placed Sia, but I think the map might have messed it up a bit as it lifted a little bit too high.
Goes that seed.
Nobody's catching that angle. Vinny finds one onto Hoodie. Now there is a big ultimate available. It looks like the point will be capped likely by 100 Thieves, who are up in numbers, but can they get this thing turned around? They can. NRG, you're going to have to drop back down in ult. Window going to be close to it. Same with Chime, Hoodie, and Madara.
Make sure you
still
eat
rather
dinner.
expensive
Yes, Dad,
too, though, and they kind of desynced when it came to the Raging Royal Flush. Combine that together with the Galactic Legend, but they'll have the Galactic Legend next, and the Hood will be ready for it with the Invisible Boundary. TTK marking down where Stinkers is as they try to match Self on the Black Cat pick. Do have that ultimate online still being held in the pocket of Self. before trying to find an isolation pick. You see the Phoenix is trying to mark
Dad,
herself.
who do you think is going to win?
Activate
100 Thieves or NRG?
Did they get their invite in the mail?
Win,
Goes
Dad?
invisible temporarily, but this is big. They force out the invisible boundary, which means that they don't really have any sustain once the invisible boundary goes down, and the Galactic Legend is unleashed with Delena.
Oh, that was a disgusting ultimate here from
My
Delena.
dad said
on the low
100
side angle,
Thieves.
knowing he has to stay low to look towards that back line in the defensive position. Forces out an ultimate as well, but Chime still able to get value through it. Is a huge turnaround as Chime finds self there. Numbers even out for the current moment. It will be an advantage of the foes on the point. 100 Thieves
I'm
still holding
voting
on with
against my
42%
dad
climb.
right now.
Oh, Psych, I lied.
Time right now. The way he just did that point blank with the end song Inferno to then clean up one other member of 100 Thieves. Sia is forced out, but NRG, as you already saw here, Shib, we're able to control that point for now. They're forced to back away because they don't really have anything defensive to deal with.
Wow,
the
they
damage
lost that
output,
point that
and at
fast,
least they
just
have
the one
BRB,
ult?
which is going to be on the next cooldown.
Yeah, and that's why it's okay to use the point percentage as a resource sometimes. If you're going to lose a fight and you want to just ensure you don't lose as much time, drop back as a unit. That's exactly what happened here from the side of 100 Thieves. And then actually NRG doing the same thing on the retake. But 22% was given up there. 100 Thieves at 61 in climbing. Vinny starting up with the Freedom Charge, trying to keep that back line charged up in their ultimate. Millennia going to have a huge Royal Flush available. Winnie trying to gain as well. And there goes that commitment across the board as the Sia launches out from Maztec. There goes that commitment now from Self onto the back line, trying to stop it. Great movement, but it won't last long as Vinny cleans up Hoodie. TTK on a Chime on the front line itself.
Oh wow, this might go 100 Thieves way, chat.
Window got whiplash there, saw the situation, said nope, and just tried to jump right out of there before unfortunately turning into the small Bruce Banner. They hear the portal, by the way. Vinny is looking to dive back in together. Can they stop this? They do get to pull it off. They're going to be able to get right back onto the point. It's going to be Mater who made up that swap up, and then TTK with that Deadpool ultimate too. He's going to be able to hold on to it for right now with overtime ticking away in favor for 100 Thieves who are playing out of their minds right now. No invisible boundary just yet for Hoodie, but Chime is able to help sustain the backline and find Self.
Yeah, Self gets rezzed right back up for the moment. Numbers evened out. Sneaker's trying to get this pick here onto Vinny, who's using that movement to hold on, but I don't think it'll last too long. Psych, he does get away.
Dude, Captain America is just getting his ass fucking beat, and he's just running away and living. Finally! He went across the map!
On that battle, but yeah, this is just very much another instance of NRG has ult advantage now while defending. Can they make this work and do exactly what 100 Thieves has done on map 1?
Change the script a little bit here, Shib, too, because you've already mentioned you have these ultimates online. You're very close to that Sia. You could combo that together with the Endsong Inferno from Chime, but it's going to be Delena who's going to want some more of these strategist ultimates forced out. Hoodie specifically, who has the invisible boundary coming up for this next fight, together with Winnie, who will have their own Sia to add in the extra bit of damage.
Yeah, now, if you are defending for NRG, you just don't want to commit too much. You want to use these to guaranteed answers, and you don't want to double stack ultimates if you don't need to, because it's a tough spot to be in, but 60% in climbing. His Chime now goes up in the sky, tries to break the Sia, does just
That's
that.
huge.
Great
That's
idea.
a huge ult right there. You didn't hit anyone, but he took away that damage thing.
It looks
That's
like
huge.
that was just not gonna
Smart
be
play.
worth it, but a good idea. 70% now, and moving forward as TTK starts off with the Van Hammer towards the back line. Self trying to go off the back of that, looking right at the strategist now, and it looks like, wow, puts him in a dicey spot, but a huge Sia from Aztec once more, just consistently holding on with that rocket. Window able to find one. Hoodie gets a pick out of Delena.
Round three, chat thoughts, round three.
Cleans up Self. This is just an absolute battle as NRG still holds on to 3 ultimates.
I love the way that they are rotating through their ults here. The fact that they still have 3. They have the Eye of Agamotto, 100 Thieves with Delena making the swap up. They let the devil out. Is it too little too late here? They go in with the portal play. Great positioning so that way they can work around it as well.
He popped his
cover.
Is
but
he
Delena
killing him?
gets called out. The BRB will bring back the Strange, and Vinny
One!
Oh
Oh my god, Vinny! He had 1 HP and he popped his
That's a huge pick. You will want to sustain from that Freedom Charge, and Millennium.
That's big, Chad. That's big, bro. He fumbled.
Oh no!
As Mater's able to find another and make it another.
100 Thieves is fumbling.
Everybody finds a piece of the pie as NRG pushes this to map 3, folks.
Yo, we're going to a map 3, baby.
Round number 3. this is the way
Yo,
that
if
you
this
open
game
things
continues
up,
to be
Ship.
that good,
the fact that also Madara
and
did
this
not have to burn the
like
Eye of Agamotto
edge
if
of the
he
seat
decides to
gameplay,
stay
bro,
on there,
I might start
that's
clapping with my
something
other
else to
hands,
consider
chat.
when you go into this
Oof.
first fight. And again, we have to highlight the way that NRG was able to rotate through those ultimates, and also the way that they were able
Window
to learn
only
so
died, I think,
quickly
one
off
time that
first
round, too. He's
alone
6 and
to
6
get
now.
that
He was
able
0
to
and
trick him
5.
down and utilize the ultimates that won't have those follow-ups.
Yeah, there's so much to call out here, right? Chime obviously played lights out there, but a huge thing to mention is Window was really struggling.
Medallion, what the hell did you just type? Also, Medallion, I just had a random thought. Are you still playing Tarkov?
0-6. And then the switch comes through, I believe, from Madara, who goes over to the Strange for the portal play, switches over to Dino, and just gets nonstop success ever since, as Madara is so strong on that Doctor Strange. So they've locked in ever since that switch came through, and they took this thing virtually 100%
I kind of wanted to play here soon.
So this might be the comp they need to move this forward and get themselves a W here on Domination.
And they don't want to waste any time. They're going to go for the portal play, try to cut them off here while they're at it.
Oh,
and,
icebreaker?
If they can find the Gambit, too. Also getting information on where that recall is for the Star-Lord from the swap up that we see from Delena. They come up right behind them. And with Millennia also having the Raging Royal Flush, that's going to be the main target priority from NRG.
Both teams, now I'm sure, feel the adrenaline heartbeats going crazy. Sninkers engages on the back line, but right out goes the Raging Royal Flush, and that's going to be trade right back as Winnie's able to find one. Delena on the Aztec, Self finds Hoodie. Everybody going to get something here. Millennia doing a good job keeping the back line healthy, and that should be point cap early on here from 100 Thieves. But folks, we've seen it time and time again, usually in Domination, getting point early pretty much guarantees that you're going to be in a good spot for the win, but both teams have bounced back from that exact situation, so it's truly anyone's game.
The way that Millennia was able to react so quickly to getting jumped into the Raging Royal Flush, and then you have Rocket Raccoon fighting back from Winnie.
Yo, Chocolate, we should try giving
get these follow-ups here.
Tarkov another chance.
Positioning together with
Thoughts?
Self. They're on the prowl here, Shib, before jumping down from the balcony.
Yeah, that's a good call there, Chime. Madara available. TTK with ultimate. Delena Self going to be right on board. And to see it from Winnie as out goes that commitment. Immediately banhammering that back line. Force out now. Good peel from the Dino. Madara's able to find one. Hoodie able to find a second.
Oh, TTK, okay.
Grades it here with Stinkers as out goes the combination. Trying to break it.
Oh.
Huge play there. Not able to collide with the centerpiece.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad for NRG. 100 Thieves is playing really well right now.
And just destination in terms of positioning from the side of NRG as no one goes down through that chaos.
That's not the gift that Phoenix wants to be met with when it's the holidays here, and Self can let the devil out too, as NRG do flip the point into their favor with the Sia, but it's gonna
yeah, the Deadpool is playing on controller. It's TTK. He's a controller player.
Up on the high ground, and Hoodie does have the invisible boundary. The Galactic Legend was already used up, so it's gonna be up to Self to get some follow potential with letting the devil out.
You can see now, Hoodie with the invisible boundary, Self holding on to ultimate as well to let the devil out. Not too much going to be growing there besides Window, Stinkers, and you should see Vinny within this next fight if it's stalled long enough. Stinkers able to find Self once more, keeping NRG in a good spot. Roughly 60% there for 100 Thieves, 30 and climbing here for NRG. And like they are also in a good spot. There goes out, let the devil out from Stinkers right towards the back line. Goodbye.
Oh my.
Winnie with a insanely quick TTK, but forced out, and doesn't matter though, because the BRB is going to bring him right back.
Good timing on that BRB, by the way. Used it from both sides, even with Winnie going down on 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I still don't understand how Daredevil players get those kills. It still feels like they're just slamming their face on their keyboard and somehow get a kill.
Now, Hoodie is still holding on to that invisible boundary window, as you mentioned, Chip. After making that top over to the Devil Dino, has had a lot more success. Nice little stun, too, onto TTK and Delena. The BRB is going to bring TTK right back, as Winnie had used it up just a bit
Hey, what's up,
earlier.
Tenuate? Appreciate it, my friend. I'm sorry that you had to wait a week. I'm sorry, man. There's just there's a person going around chat botting.
Can it be countered here from the other side, as Aztec is going to be the first to follow, and Window dealing just enough of that pressure, has nobody left from NRG to help follow up, because Vinny has wiped the floor with the rest of the team.
Yeah, 100 Thieves needed a victory out of that using the Raging Royal Flush. If you don't find value, you are pretty much cooked, especially in the given situation where Madara, Chime, Aztec will have ults available for this next fight, where you're going to have Delena and Vinny. You do have an answer. Winnie going to be close too, so likely we'll see Delena and Winnie combined once more to try to burn potentially Chime out of the sky with that Ensong Inferno, the Phoenix as she lands. Portal, I believe. I thought I heard. I guess I didn't. Delena now looking for that BRB, looking for that backline. We'll be able to one-clip. No, out goes the Sia. immediately to
I mean, that's a huge force.
Try to force out some cooldowns and regroup with the team as Vinny uses that freedom charge to keep the team healthy. It's again just more of a neutral as no one gets a pick just yet, but down goes Millennia, huge pick. Chime. And it gets deleted instantly here from Chime, who's trying to get a pick on Deleno. Turns that around instead. Stinkers on a Millennia. It's anyone's fight, but Stinkers able to find 3 now.
Oh my God, chat, we're coming down to a last fight, bro. We're coming down to a last fight. This is insane.
Off-map answer to counter it.
The fact that Madara is just trying to get cheeky with it right now, though, they know time is of the essence. Stinker's getting a huge stagger.
They're not TPing. They're not TPing.
That is with NRG, who did have a win condition against the Galactic Legends, as he's trying to find the perfect opportunity to place us and block them out. Nearing 95% now. He blocks one side.
That means they don't have TP, chat. That means they don't have TP to come back. Uh-oh, this is going to be tough, man. Hey, appreciate it, my friend.
Understanding that portal was likely heard by the team to ensure.
And Evan, appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub. Welcome.
Time right now, folks. It's anyone's game. We are in the final map here on Domination. Who comes out on top?
Oh no, they flipped. They flipped. They're
going to use that to their advantage as Millennia is trying to build this ultimate 60% and climbing. Madara holding on to the eye.
Oh shit. I'm on the edge of my seat, bro.
Right back by NRG. It has the only ult available. South able to find the first one onto the back line. It's a huge start. The Eye of Agamotto goes back, but it does not find
No way, bro. They airballed the...
As the Let the Devil Out goes out, and yes, it's match back as Madara and Stinkers get 2.
Shine following up, gets the stun with Stinkers.
Oh my God, they're bringing it back!
Time is of the essence. Overtime taken away, and the numbers are in favor for NRG, but the fight's not done just yet.
They're bringing it back after missing all their ults, bro, and dying.
TTK. Delena makes the swap over to the Doctor Strange, but the stall comes through,
Oh!
and the portal as they jump back and forth.
Oh my God!
NRG, the fact that they were able to reclaim that point when they were at ult disadvantage, they did not have a strategist ultimate to deal with the Galactic Legend. It was the Daredevil ship. NRG Shock come out on top, and the Duelists really stepping up for this team.
I am proud of 100 Thieves.
Oh, wow.
And I am proud of NRG Shock. That was a very, very entertaining, very close game, bro.
What an absolute
that
pleasure.
Was a very
looking forward to more
game,
of this,
bro.
folks, right after this break.
That was a chat. As a viewer, you cannot ask for a much better game than that, bro. That was literally straight to... Hey, and I told you guys, remember when 100 Thieves won the first point? And I said, chat, usually the team that wins the first point, if you don't win the second one, you usually lose. Guess what happens? NRG came back. I told you guys. I told you guys. I told you guys, man. That was a close game. Literally anything could have went their way, though. It was a close game. Not homeless yet by following J3's bets. What? Chat, why would you be home? What? TTK needs to expand his hero pool. TTK's fine, bro. Dude, it was... anything could have happened. It was 99.99, bro. Anything could have happened, chat. I just want to let you guys know. I said NRG beats 100 Thieves. I'm just saying, I have like... I think I have magical powers. If a team signed me as their streamer and I kept saying that their team was going to win, that team would, even if they were like 0-8 and never won a game, if I start cheering for them, they would be 8-0. They would never lose a game. That's how powerful my predictions are. Yeah. Hey, you see the guy giga cheating on Punisher using your name, Lamau, Evil J3. There's a guy going around cheating on a guy on an account named Evil J3. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. If you search up the name Evil J3, will I be able to find him? He's in Celestial 3 right now. Oh. What is this? Evil J3 cheating. Very interesting.
Hello and welcome back, my friends. As we just saw one of the closest matchups that we have had thus far in stage 1. NRG got the win just by a pixel in the portal against 100 Thieves. And there's so much to break down against these two teams that have a lot of fans, great players, and really storied history. And we got to kind of start with some of the decision making. Now, right away, you know, we've talked about this. If you look at Black Cat, let's start there. You had the save of Black Cat to give Stinkers that option, but
private profile.
Right there with Tanuki, I think Jerky. There's some great Black Cats out there. Obviously, Speedery was
does anyone
the best of them.
Does anyone have a code with the guy's Evil J3's name?
Well, a great natural counter. But Shib, I want to start there. Window, then swapping on over to the Dino, which they kind of base a lot of those pick bans with. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot to address, right? It was crazy. That was an absolute banger series to watch. But speaking of Window, yeah, like we talked about a bit in the cast. I mean, Window started off.
Yeah. Thank you, Wonderland.
Venom. It was really struggling into that composition. It was really could not get on top of anyone. Gambit has a ton of self-peel, a lot of good neutral. Could not find any value. Switched over to Hulk. Kept getting picked off when trying to set up for some sort of dive brawl play. And then eventually what happened was Madara was forced to Portal at one point, forcing the switch to Dino over there from Window. And they just locked in after that, man. They looked so much better as a unit.
That was a close game.
Yeah, it just ended up working. And I know this is kind of counter to what a lot of what we say. It is sometimes team, specific.
Why aren't you a commentator for this? I feel like you would be great. I am not a good commentator, trust me.
I think 100 Thieves is one of their weak points. They're not much of a Gambit team. I mean, Millennia playing well, sure. I do like the Rocket pick. There's plenty of great things about having that ultimate, but then
one time I played against I played with this guy named Jay3 who pulled me off the map. Not sure that's something you do.
Pick ban some energy shock.
It doesn't exude confidence.
I'm pretty sure I portaled off one of my teammates yesterday, and he jumped off the map, and then he left the game. He was a thing player.
Together with a galactic legend like we usually get to see, but I'm not seeing enough antis too, right? We went from Window, who was what, like 0-6 after that first round, to then making that swap up that you guys mentioned. To now look at the stats, right? He went 13-8, and he was able to terrorize.
Maybe I am the evil J3
on that Devil Dino, not really caring about the Gambit and the Rager Royal Flush, and was still able to harass 100 Thieves. Then you combine that together with Stinkers being on the Daredevil, finding these 1v1s. It just felt like an aura farm between Stinkers and the 1v1 with Self, and then Chime also grouping everybody up together.
J3, do you use a voice changer when not streaming?
Onslaught of damage.
Brother, I don't even play any games when I'm not streaming.
The last time they met up in Krakoa, it was this close as well, this matchup between the two. And what's great about this, if you're NRG, you look at your pick and bans, you use one save on the Black Cat, right? Get rid of that. Obviously, Daredevil is going to be what Stinkers is just such a great player at, and naturally has that counter. So I think they can even go that direction if they want to. I do want to say, Shib, a lot of the attention to the bans or to TTK, and I will say tip of the cap, I think TTK kind of impressed me there with the way that they did play tank pool, because
I'm hanging out with Emily, chat.
The
worst thing that you can do in life, especially as a streamer,
I think
is get burnt out. When you get burnt out,
that's the advantage of Vanpool. Has a ton of movement,
I think
a ton of overhealth,
it's GG's, bro. It's done.
Still, even though a lot
you don't want to get burnt out, man.
Down from just the guns in general. But one thing that I think is worth addressing, you talked in the green room, buddy. Loki was on the table. I think teams have gotten so accustomed to not being able to play Gambit in these scrims that they forget that Loki Gambit is absolutely insane. And if you can't run it as a team, that is a major weak point for your team. And you address, I think it's absolutely worth calling you out there, buddy. You killed it. I mean, I don't know why that's not something you have on the docket, because I think if you were able to run that composition, you might have won that.
And when he can play Loki just fine. I think it's funny. Who was it we were talking to in an interview? They said Gambit and people that typically get banned out and just competitive play, like the only time you get to play them are in scrims, right? So like it's almost tough to play these meta heroes because they're never available when you're doing the regular grind, on the ladder and whatnot.
Yeah, Virtus Pro
One thing that is kind of interesting, Vicky, that I want to point out, okay? You got to know the rules behind Ignite a bit, but I believe loser gets to pick map, but more importantly gets to pick server. I believe that's how it's going to work. Now, if you're 100 Thieves, what you technically could do, because I believe this was in Dallas, you could go as far away from that backline as possible, right? I know right now they're playing from overseas. You could go ahead and, like, wouldn't you want to go? I think it would be Orchid,
that's right.
That you would try to make it
two
even
of
more
100 Thieves
difficult
players
for this team to
playing
sink
from
in.
Korea?
How long is it going to take
sure.
for 100 Thieves to send us to where we got to go? You know what? That's why we got to fix everything, you know, going from the preseason to this season. You already know, Cozy. We were on for that, gas. But, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Or is it
And, you know, if
NRG?
you
Is it
wanna be able to
NRG?
force this backline to play at a
Damn.
more disadvantage when they also were struggling to find that momentum at the very beginning. Sure, you want to capitalize off of it. Let's see where 100 Thieves is going to take us.
Oh, yeah, it is
eventually. But I
it is
feel like just
NRG.
looking
No,
at the bigger
because
picture
they
too,
have a
guys,
Millennia.
I feel like
Yeah.
Vinny, too, was struggling a lot.
Yeah, and funny because Vinny was playing really well yesterday, I think, and just in general, it was some of the way that the communications was going. Like we were talking about, you know, committing to the dive well ship, and I feel like they were kind of all over the place. It felt like when things were starting to unravel. Now they do take it to the Museum of Contemplation. Nothing too shocking about this. I expect them to go this direction, but hey. Now, do you warrant a change in the bans? You now try to say, okay, we're going to give some
How
more
long
respect
until next
to someone
game?
like Stinkers. Because
You're starting it right
if
now.
he was not on Daredevil there, ship, I think they were going to run away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that's definitely a good ban potential. I think also potentially removing the Phoenix. If you are going to go back to that rocket, it forces you to kind of play very defensive and always be mindful of what that ultimate can do. If you ever want to be reactive with the Sia, it's just so dangerous because, you know, there's always an answer that can shut that ultimate down quickly and maybe even
Why
still
so
get
much
value
talk?
of a
Chat.
pick through it, right? So, yeah, I think there's a lot of
Calm
different things
down,
that
bro.
can
They
elect to
talk
do, but
because the
question is, will
players
they
are
do it?
deciding
Because
the
I do think
map,
this team is
the
working
blah,
on the
blah,
ban
blah,
phase, but
all
it
that
always hasn't
stuff.
been their strong suit.
Relax.
Well, both teams can clean it up. Even NRG with some of what they want to try to change up with that Black Hat save into what they want to go into. So will they target TTK? I think if I'm NRG, I would take away, he still played pretty well there. So maybe we try to swap a couple of these up. And so I do expect the Gambit to be left open again. Go ahead and give it to 100 Thieves, right? Because it's going to play a bit different on this map, but there it is. So same exact thing we're seeing on both sides. And we're going to see the same saves there, Vicky.
Yeah, it's going to be the focus onto TTK's lineup, honestly, because that was the biggest thing that NRG
same
had
bans,
with
chat,
100
same
Thieves.
bans.
They
Gambit
get the
save,
and
ban
Cozy,
Double
I agree with you
Dinosaur.
again. Just the same thing that Shib was saying too. Like, if this is not a
Ban
conversation
the
that
Luna
100 Thieves looks like they
Snow.
can capitalize off of, just let them have it here.
Yeah, it's a big weakness to have, Ship, because then you allow to change the entire draft, right? If you give the Gambit, then it could just shape the way you do things differently. Obviously, last time going for that TTK ban, we knew the Devil Dino was going to be banned there. Now, to swap things up on their side, what's the first thing you address, Ship, if you're 100 Thieves?
It's dicey. I mean, that's what I was saying. Maybe the Phoenix, as you get to the later bans, that's where we're going to see more of the unique stuff, the stuff that was more of a problem that maybe isn't as meta, right? I think right now it's still traditional, removing the Mantis, some of the stuff that seems very strong in the meta, but I do think you potentially remove the Phoenix, DD's on the table, Cat. I mean, I do think DD's really strong at this map in particular and does a good job answering Cat. So if you want to run Cat, that's a removal point. If you want to get rid of the Sia break, you get rid of the Phoenix. It's up to those two, I would say.
It's like, do you go DD last ban? Because then they can also ban Cat from there. That's kind of what I'm thinking if I'm on their side. The Luna ban's just a very staple, great one to have right now in this meta. I agree. Still attacking TTK, right? So getting rid of the Dino, getting
Why don't
rid
they
of
save
Emma,
the Devil
maybe
Dinosaur?
challenging
Because
even more, but the
the
only problem
Devil
with
Dinosaur
that
got
is
banned
Window's
already.
going to be, in my guess, on that
If
Devil
they
Dinosaur
banned,
right off the rip.
if they ban Devil Dinosaur first, you cannot save Devil Dinosaur here because he's already banned.
Vicky with the Devil getting the save instead of
Ryukin
And
and
we get to the
Dukin
very
for
end
11
too,
months.
right?
Appreciate it,
And now
my
it forces
friend.
100 Thieves to linger. Okay, so what is going to be this next ban that lines up? It's going to be the Phoenix. The respect that we see right there too when we saw Chime really popping off, is that going to be enough on a map like this? Yes, you have open sightlines, but especially when you get to that second checkpoint, guys, you have so many different flanking angles too to just tear apart the attention of the strategist backline, as now they want to prioritize the Phoenix for their side for 100 Thieves.
Like we know what we're talking about. The last 3 bans and the way they unfolded. It was kind of a lose-lose ship, though, because then if you don't ban Luna, they're going to just save that Luna, right? So, like, yeah, you could have gone Daredevil there. We kind of said that's where you would have had to push it, but now
Black
ultimately it can be left on the
Cat.
table. So, kind of the same of what they had. I think Vicky made a great point with the front
Black
to back,
Cat.
though. Phoenix being a lock is going to help the Luna.
Groot's ban.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to remove the group. This is just a Vanguard slaughterhouse right now, and I think it works. I think this is an Emma group map, truthfully. I think this is a great map for both of them. They've had success across all of Ignite here. Taking that away from the front line, forcing them into a more divey, kind of play their own game style is exactly what worked for them last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm calling it now. We're going to have TTK maybe on the strange invis. You might go back to the tank pool yet again, but I think they might lean that way because when you look at what's available now, you're getting very low in options. Captain America is where Vinny's going to likely go, maybe with the Venom, depending on what TTK wants the preference, but you're going to lose out on a lot of that front line. Here we go, guys. We've got 100 Thieves versus NRG. It was razor thin moments ago in domination. We find ourselves now at the Museum of Contemplation.
Oh man!
I got it. Oh, what's the code? What's the code? It's Vestals.
I'm hoping it stays true as we head into match 2, Vic.
Jay or
I'm excited
horny?
here. I like the way that we were able to.
Jay, are you horny?
Up 100 Thieves still being able to have.
I appreciate the man's new tier 1 sub, my friend. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Same luxury. You see Chime already being on that Bucky, hovering over this as they're going to be able to start on the defensive side of things. Aztec also still sticking to the rocket with Hoodie being on that invis.
Thank you,
but
Wonderland.
It's a different look. I like
you.
the way that the pick and ban phase has rolled out for NRG. It's kind of been tearing apart the Vanguard lineup of 100 Thieves to force them to be able to not really
Fuck!
protect that backline just as much.
Yeah, I like what you're calling out there. Good comms as we start this next first fight of map 2. TTK on that van, what you see here. We need some of that experience moving forward. I'm just going to be up on the screen right
Sorry,
now.
I'm just catching us up back to live, chat. There we go. We're back to live.
The usage of that End Song Inferno shut down to see it. Chime able to find one on Delena early on, setting the tone, but the space is being driven here. The cart is moving, and Self is going to be able to head back towards the team after forcing eyes backwards.
Already showcasing the success here with Self being able to have the information being on the Daredevil themselves. Also calling out where Stinkers is positioned. Before diving in, Chime has been on fire though, now trickling into the second map ship. TTK already has that ultimate online 2 going into this next fight. And if you look on the other side, just a quick stalwart window dives in, continuously harasses them before swinging away on this Venom.
Yeah, forcing out cooldown's going to retreat. You'll see that a lot against Emma's, just forcing Diamond, because that is so much value in and of itself. It's not always worth getting a KO. If you saw about cooldown and management and understanding what you have just burned
Bucky's
from
good
the opposition
here, chat.
to call out for your team so they can set up something else. Chime looking backwards, trying to peel a bit from Vinny. Is just driving eyes backwards, doing exactly what Cap always does. You can see the cards already moved significantly. Window able to find Winnie there early on for NRG, is putting them in a strong spot on this defense. And out goes the fan hammer there from TTK. Window able to find Vinny once again. Now numbers are heavily down, driving everyone backwards. Huge defense so far from NRG.
You would think at this point, if you're 100 Thieves, right, and you see the Venom that is from Window and Stinkers as well trying to go in for these diving opportunities, will we ever see the swap from Winnie to the Loki, right? You have those lamps available if you don't get baited out, and you actually allow Vinny to go back into the safety of your lamps, and you also can try to prevent the dive from finding its success here, and you get double Rage and Roll Flush, but they're still sticking with the Sia that they're going to get eventually. Very close to that with Stinkers 2 on the prowl.
See them setting up now.
Yeah, look at him. He's holding down the flank pretty well.
PD able to find invisibility at all times. It's very difficult to set up and play well on Black Hat. Self still trying to make that work, though. As you can see, the escape comes out, forcing out cooldowns, retreating, not even worrying about using the feast. You don't need to burn everything if it's not advantageous for your team. And now likely in the next fight, we'll see that feast go through. The Raging Royal Flush comes out quickly, though, folks. Is that going to be a trade? And a huge comes out.
My God, bro. Why don't pro players shoot the Phoenix?
Huge follow-up here, too, from Delena, and they still have that Sia available, Shib. Vinny, close to that Freedom Charge, getting all on top of the cart to get to that first checkpoint. Madara making the swap up to get the portal play, just to go in for the contest. And Stinkers lets the devil out from the other side of the portal, and it's met from Sia on both angles. Window comes in, the anti-heals, follows up, and finds Millennia. That's a big pickoff, only leaving Winnie to sustain the rest of 100 Thieves. Freedom Charge 2 to help them out, but Chime 2 was also trying to go in with the Kraken Impact. Doesn't get the resets that they were looking for, and now they have to worry about Self being on the Black Hat activating the ultimate.
See TTK is able to find one on Amadora. Good start once more for 100 Thieves who want to get this thing pushed. And it looks like they just might be. Oh, it's
come on, 100 Thieves. You guys got a cap, bro.
Again, that counter.
This is bad. This is bad for 100 Thieves, bro. 30 seconds left. They got a cap
right now, and it looks like in a tough spot, Delena is able to escape, get fully healed up. Aztec with some nice positioning here.
Oh, Aztec got another ult too. Wow.
Pressure, and yes, it's traded on as Madara comes in, is able to find one Chime with a 2-piece, and now NRG are up and able to take control of this point.
Oh no, this is bad.
After making the swap up too, as Madara goes over to the Angela to get right back together with the rest of the team. Aztec has that Sia. Hoodie makes a swap over to the White Fox. 100 Thieves have not gotten to this first checkpoint, forcing Vinny to come in with a portal play down to the last 3 seconds.
Yeah, it might have been worth it to try to wall off there the strat line with that. Instead, they like to put it right on point. I'm not sure if there was enough time. Might have been the case
Angela?
there. Madara using this as a great position, just dancing around this like it's a wall, much like you want to do. And there's the answer. Bang! Ensong going to go through to burn the Sia quickly, and it does just that. Delena using this positioning to his advantage. Applying a ton of pressure. Madara going to be in a tough spot, very low, but able to drop back towards that strat line indoors. They got to get pressure on that back line if they want any success here. Right now, it's just farming these ultimates. Millennia, TDK's able to find one. Out goes a huge Raging Royal Flush. Can they find value through this as Black Cat is dancing? Self and Winnie able to find one. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it looks like the numbers are dwindling here for NRG. Will the portal play come through in time? Overtime ticking down.
Damn, wow.
And they
100
are
Thieves
so
is
close to
a
this point, but
OT
it's
type
still
of
being
team,
stalled.
bro.
It might be enough time here.
100 Thieves is an
That
overtime
was the thing is they had used it
team,
up
bro.
Just a little bit ago
Damn.
here, Shib, and the fact that you aren't able to harass Gambit, Millennia, who was just uncontested in the backline, it was tough. They were leaning into that Kraken impact from Chime, and he was shut down at the hands of TTK. It was a good cleanup from 100 Thieves, and they didn't really have to expend everything with Vinny lingering. Do I swap? Do I utilize his Eye of Agamotto? They just used that portal not too long ago. They want to clear more of the space, and even Madara had swapped off the Angela to go over to the Devil Dino this time.
See if we can move it now as Stinker's trying to make something work out here to let the devil out, walking towards back line. Instead, going to be driven.
Okay,
forward just
Vinny
a
is
little
staying
bit.
on this
100
character,
Thieves are
chat. Do you
keeping
guys
the
think
aggro
Vinny's going to
winning.
hit a fat one?
Using that Kamiho Unleash and keep the team moving. See the drop back here from Delena.
Oh,
just
that is
peeling
true.
back
They
line
do
with
have
a
Rogue
ton
open.
of
Rogue would be a
pressure
good.
from the side of Phoenix.
TTK
There's that
does
dive
play
now
Rogue, right?
towards Rocket tries to escape through
Rogue
Portal, does just
Gambit
that.
would be a
Some
good
really
team
good
up.
utilization of Portal in your dives.
Trying to get a robbery going here as Self on the prowl. Delena having the
By the
open
way, the
sight
cheater
lines that
game
we
got
were mentioning
forfeit second
before,
round, so the
especially when we get to
actual
the
whole
second
game is forfeit.
checkpoint.
No, is
Taking a
there
different
another
flanking angle,
code?
trying to dive in together with Vinny. He goes in through the TP, right through the other side of the wall. Safely is able to get away on that one-way TP, but it's met with a Daredevil from the other side. Is still able to go right back around, with Delena also getting the reset on the end song Inferno. They're splitting the attention of NRG, and they had lost out on Aztec originally, and Chime does have that Kraken impact, but they're down in numbers if they're looking to
Delena's
reset.
popping off, though.
Delena's back home right now with this hit scan, finding two right there in this neutral, giving them a ton of space. But folks, there's only 50 seconds on here. 3 ultimates available for NRG, and only 2 for answers from Millennia and Self. But it is the Raging Royal Flush, and we all know how valuable that can be in the right hands if this team is committed here. We'll see Millennia likely use it now. Yes, and there's the commitment. Dives in right with them, but everybody's collapsing there. It's Millennia in a dangerous spot. It looks like Winnie's able to find the first pick onto Chime, who had ult available, but the rest comes through. Chime still in the fight. Self finds Aztec. Will not be an answer from the Sia just yet. Self in a very dangerous spot, still holding on somehow. How are you so healthy here?
How is
Self
this guy
finally
alive?
falls to
Okay,
Stinkers,
there you
but
go.
The space is already being generated. Is this enough now as Millennia finds Madara?
No
TTK
way.
on the window, and wow, that was disgusting.
100 Thieves actually
That was
fully
so big
capped
from Self to
second
just, like,
phase
so
that
many
fast.
members
That
of
is
NRG back into the
insane.
bottom
Bro,
game,
no
splitting
team
the
has
attention
ever
of
capped it that
Delena
fast
on
so
the
far,
side of
I think,
space.
in
and Delena with these staggers one by
this,
one as they
whole
fall.
stage
They had a
1.
spawn room gate
Boba,
event to
you're
shoot
leaving
himself
already,
to
bro?
right back around to follow up with Delena.
This is still, hey, this is still really winnable for them.
Strange turning into a giant tube. You got to stay on top of it. Makes it a little more dicey, more difficult to push this point in OT when you got to have a body on the float at all times. It is definitely hard to find all 3 points, but if you do it, it gives you a massive advantage there on defense, knowing that this point is very defendable, especially when your res is just so close by. So Vinny does have that freedom charge available, looking right towards the back line now. Is going to have to be driven off the height. Continues that pressure with some more dive as out goes Self as well, but Chime turns that around and bang, goodbye there. Vinny with a huge Kraken impact. The reset comes through, but it doesn't look like it will find more. But still going to keep that pressure on Chime. Tries to get the pick onto Delena, who does escape. Window takes out one pick onto Millennia, and they will retake this space.
Not expending too much though, even after feeling that pressure. It was really
Delena-
just TTK had to utilize that ultimate. Now
said
they're down
this-
to less than 30 seconds on the clock. This is when they were almost held in that first checkpoint.
I said this
They
in the
just basically
preseason, but
walked and
Delena was
strolled
living in the
point into
shadows
that
of
second
Terra
checkpoint.
when they were
They
on the
just have
team
a
together,
charge.
but
So
Delena actually
Delena
did
and
step
the
up. He's
Enzo
doing really
Inferno
well.
And Winnie, who has the Kumio Unleash, and it's going to be crucial with Stinkers letting the double out.
Yeah, I think it was a huge play. I mean, forced out Kraken. Oh, bang. Down it goes the end zone once more to counter. And this is exactly why this pick came through and exactly why they banned out the Phoenix of the opposition. Huge plays here from 100 Thieves, who still have the Kamiho and soon to be the Raging Royal Flush. Will this be enough for 100 Thieves to walk through, as there is no answers for NRG? Very much in favor of 100 Thieves in this fight.
It's huge here, too, that they only had used up that Freedom Charge for that sustainability. They're going to have that Kumio Unleash, as you mentioned, together with the Ranger Royal Flush, cycling through these two strategist ultimates now. If you look at NRG, they don't really have that sustain.
Oh, wow, wait, NRG doesn't have any ults. 100 Thieves, oh, nah, chat, this might be a GG. 100 Thieves might actually fully cap this,
TTK is able to find one. Numbers up now once more for 100 Thieves. Commitment's going to be launched. Here's Millennia using that Raging Royal Flush, but Window's able to take out Winnie, who had ultimate. And Millennia finds Window to trade that back, but is that going to be enough? The portal gets launched out now, too. See who gets more play off this portal. Still staying on top of point for the current moment. Hoodie's in a tough spot there, very low, and does fall there. Herself cleans that up. Point still moving forward. TTK
oh, thank you, Wonderland. You're absolutely insane, and I appreciate you so much.
Available, likely gonna pop it here, and he used that eye to see all and try to commit on backline, but 90 HP.
J3, please don't comment and curse the game.
Kraken,
bro, I don't curse. Watch, 100 Thieves fully caps this, bro.
Going on a rampage here, you find the next victim. You find Window, Madara, Aztec, they all come crashing down. Only 2 members left on the point from NRG's defense, and it is 100 Thieves looking to get this payload to the finish line.
Told you guys, I don't have no curse.
And they did just that. Full 3-point sweep there. Well played.
Bro, I'm gonna say right now, I thought 100 Thieves was gonna get full hold, and I was actually feeling really sad for them. I was about to say, wow, they got full held, NRG is gonna come back, they're gonna 2-0 100 Thieves, that's wild. But, dude, TTK, you guys have been shitting on TTK. Oh my god, TTK needs a better hero pool. Oh my god, bench TTK, bro. He is 20-0 and popping up. Wait, TTK has more damage done than damage taken. I don't think I've ever seen a tank actually have that. Anyways, bro, they ended up reversing that full hold, capping second point so fast, and then capping all of third, bro. We actually might go to a map 3. We actually might go to a map 3, chat. That's insane. Delena, 26-3 with 14 final hits to 32,000 damage. Self is 20-4 with 10,000 damage, 9 final hits, bro. Ooh.
Forced to swap over to the Doctor Strange when we saw Hoodie unfortunately go out first.
Yeah, TTK is playing how TTK wants to play. He wants to play for his KD, bro. He doesn't want to play for his team.
Together,
he wants to play
and
for his
TTK. Though, I like the cover.
You know who TTK reminds me of?
Provides, and now looking to see
TTK reminds me of
yeah, and folks, look at the top right.
Give me a second.
Oh my!
Listening to us, as you can see that
not me.
We knew Winnie had it in them. Just thought it was just an idea that they weren't feeling comfortable with it.
Who was that guy?
And now 100 Thieves are going to be able to make that work here on this defense. NRG
in Ted Lasso. Who is the guy
on the field? Window was considering that van.
Not Roy
through for Strange.
Kent. Who was the other one?
This is crazy. It's almost like they're listening to us here.
Jamie. Yeah, Jamie Tart. He reminds me of Jamie Tart.
There
you go. The best player on the team, all that stuff before he ends up being the best. What do you call it? Before he ends up being a team player.
Not getting out, still having those slants available. Millennia wanted to build into this Ranger Royal Flush, the win condition that 100 Thieves want to rely on TTK.
Never watched Ted Lasso. Do yourself a favor. Watch Ted Lasso right now.
1v1 against a Black Cat. It's going to be Seekers first in the world before backing away and just delaying out on that ultimate before re-engaging.
You can see here now, folks, still committing. See the dive comes in, bang, Vinny on the back line, looking for one, gonna force out Crystals, likely no good patience, as the peel still there, forced to escape with 300 HP, but does get away. Window holding on to reset for the team.
And to the other side with that end song Inferno too, that's right around the corner. Will they hold on to it to deal some more of that extra damage, or will it be used up as a reset? Together, maybe with the Rage of Royal Flush. It's going to be Aztec that has the Eternal Bond first. It's going to help with the sustainability. It's going to activate it, paint the floor purple, but it's not going to be able to sustain them once Delena uses the end song Inferno.
All right, folks, I'm back in once more. What you're saying? Out goes some commitment with the Eternal Bond. Aztec able to find Winnie. There's a huge pick. Millennia trying to keep the team healthy on the front line. Vinny dancing, but it won't last long as Madara takes out Vinny. TTK falls to Stinkers and make it 2, why don't you now? As Stinkers is cleaning up on the Daredevil. Window and Madara with 2 more will be enough. For
Damn, they rolled that point, though.
Cleaning it up here, NRG having a much more successful time getting that first checkpoint in comparison to 100 Thieves here, and now making the changes that they will have, because let me tell you, that Loki Gambit did not last very long, Shib. Winnie going right back over to the Invisible Woman, and they do have that Ranger Royal Flush for this next fight.
Yeah, it can be difficult with a ton of movement to be running the Loki, but I do think it's still an incredibly strong composition. Definitely lends itself to be available for triple comps too, if you really want to have.
Why is Gambit open? Because 100 Thieves banned Gambit first,
gets committed. Everybody
but NRG banned Double Dinosaur first.
Yes, we do. Self. Somebody stop him as Delena just cleaning house here on the Phoenix. Just an absolute hit scan demon. Has been known for it in the past and is back right on a home here on this Phoenix.
And every single time I also see Blackhead get these follow-ups, having the calling card in hand too. It's like you'll never see them coming. Almost like they got the Phantom Thieves themselves to perform a delivery, and Self is holding on to that for this next fight. You look on the other side too from NRG, and Hoodie does have the Kumio, and these Stinkers could let the Devil out, but they're trying to match that together with these strategist ultimates for Aztec to have that Eternal Bond. And take a look at Delena marking them on this Phoenix.
And here we go now, folks, as out goes the entirety, the suite of the charge.
Do you think Black Cat is the most broken character they ever released? Do you not remember release Gambit? Hello?
What a shot there from Delena to take out Window in the sky. Vinny, keep the team moving. The huge iframe there from Self to avoid the DD, and out goes the Kraken Impact. Bang, the End Song Inferno. Vinny able to find Chime now, is going to put them up a number once again. NRG driven backwards.
The autofocus onto Chime this entire map has just been night and day in comparison to what we saw for map number 1, Chib. I mean, you're allowing Chime to get away with what is basically a murder here for that final round, and now it's a completely different look. Yet in Whiplash, they not only prioritized him as in their pick and ban phase, but now they have been marking him down, forcing him to swap over to the Namor.
Yeah, switching to Namor here. It's a little bit different. Namor's, strong into dive for sure. Haven't seen a ton of it in this tournament so far. You saw the setup there on the low side of 100 Thieves when it came to Self, getting that vision through walls to get the team committed together. Out goes to let the Devil out. Hoodie gonna clean that up with Window. The dive was perfect as all 3 come through and find the entirety of the back line. Self able to trade that with Stinkers, but is that enough? Still stalling the point is all the goal is here. If you're gonna go down, you might as well go down on top of the point. Hoodie trying to get this trade onto Vinny. 1v1 will begin. Hoodie gonna have to be driven away and almost goes down. Great movement there to stay healthy as they look for point 2.
I want to know what the ping is for Hoodie and Aztec. Has to be like 200 or something.
Up. We'll come back into this fight with the Freedom Charge. He smarts the Phoenix. One shot, but it's okay. Aztec is right there. Also has the Eternal Bond charged up too, but it's pressure from Delena over on the back end of things. Self, he's got the calling card. He's sending the invites in the mail, the invisible boundary to match out of the Eternal Bond that is unleashed from Aztec, and it's just to delay the inevitable.
Oh, they Gambit ulted down too?
Find Delena.
Oh, but they do commit now with the Royal Flush, but I'm not sure it was worth it. They can't stay there right now. Everybody's falling. Aztec finds a second pick onto Vinny and looks for even more. The escape from Self. Can they get to this point? It doesn't look like they can, and they will be getting point 2.
Chat, we have ourselves a game, bro. But hey, I will
they are looking
say
so
this.
good right now, Chib.
I sound like a broken record,
top, the way that they're trickling
but
in
this is
with
the
these
hardest
ultimates
map
too,
to fully
shutting
cap.
down
So even though they have 2.5 minutes and more time than 100 Thieves had this whole phase, I don't know if they can cap. If they can cap, I would be very impressed.
Very confident off of having that Gambit say that they use their Protect on, and you look at what they have to provide. Delena's been popping off, doing a good amount of that damage, but we need to see more of these follow-ups together.
Yeah, and there is going to be a roughly even spread in ultimates right now. In terms of answers, there is no strategist ultimate available for 100 Thieves. They need to get value here with Vinny in terms of needing an answer. So they can use that Freedom Charge to drop backwards, get that strategist line charged up. PTK going to start off initially with the Ban Hammer, and instead is going to use that on Chime, not allowing Chime to essentially use any attack for the moment, but didn't really bother him much. Still had cooldowns available to answer. Hoodie able to find one on a Millennia. This back line once more from NRG has been playing lights out. Vinny finds Aztec. Stinkers goes down from Winnie, and now 100 Thieves are bouncing back with a vengeance. Oh, what a throw there from Vinny to clean up Chime. Disgusting work on the cap.
Stoke gets a quick little chomp, though, right before backing away and giving this space over to 100 Thieves. But Chime will be able to come right back in. The Horn of Proteus here, while Vinny has that Freedom charge, rallying the troops together, wanting to get the next set of the Rager Royal Flush to follow up. But they have to be careful with the way that Chime can control some of this space if they want to mark down Millennia.
Back and forth again. Millennia trying to build up here. Almost has that ult available. Like, we're going to use this in a moment should they need to. Space is still being taken as the card still moves forward. Delena finding that first pick. It's matched right back onto Self, though. And the idea was to try to save this ultimate to potentially combine with Self, but Self gets deleted there, folks. That is a huge pick. Out goes the Whale onto the front line. Doesn't look like that one lands for value. The commitment comes through on the window, though. And they're still staying up as the Freedom charge gets launched once more. This time from Vinny. Pressuring that back line. Eternal Bond
what was
gets
that?
to answer. TTK is able to find one through the chaos, and 100 Thieves are still up in numbers and all.
Gonna see an anti on the other side, but you're still holding on to 2 of these cards. You're just delaying the inevitable, waiting out the Eternal Bond. I like this option from 100 Thieves, not having to use up any of their ultimates that they have here. 4 now coming up as TTK just gets his Raging Royal Flush in the pocket of Millennia. Here comes Self, though. He's got the Galactic Legend looking to get these follow-ups, as TTK is the first to use that ultimate.
100 Thieves wins this. Look at the ult. Look at the ult economy, chat.
Look how many ults are available.
If 100 Thieves loses this, I will never cheer for 100 Thieves again.
Window's gonna have an answer. Hoodie's
Never.
gonna be close. So there will be the Kamiho Unleashed to be an answer to some of this chaos. Millennia, there's that combination we were talking about. Trying to find one, needs to find one here as they are all stacking. Able to find one through the chaos, but this time from Delena. No more picks go through. Sight Guy Live. Madara goes down. Do we see more as the Kamiho Unleashed goes out? It gets deleted instantly. Window's able to find one. Vinny trades that back onto Hoodie. And 100 Thieves are up in numbers. The Porter play needs to be committed here as overtime will be ticking down shortly. Millennia gonna battle back. But wow, they're still holding on. That means the portal will come through.
Need some help, had popped up the spades by accident here instead of the healing cards. Instead, gets aggressive, finds window. It is 100 Thieves up in numbers. And a portal play to contest back onto the point as Aztec has made the swap over to the Doctor Strange.
Going
right
to a map 3 chat.
They cannot contest the point, and
we
100
are
Thieves successfully take this to
going to
distance.
a map 3, man.
What a battle, folks. We've got ourselves a 1-1 series.
Good shit by 100 Thieves, though.
Exactly
Show me the
what I'm
stats.
looking for every time I cast. What a banger
Show me the stats.
so far. Both teams putting everything on the line. You can just see the passion in these fights, and I love every moment of it. 100 Thieves going to bounce back on map 2. Now we head over to the favor, the map choice from the side of NRG.
This is crazy here. Just looking at the way that 100 Thieves was able to hold it down, Shib. I cannot wait to see what map we're moving on to for game number 3. Don't go anywhere, because that's coming to you on the other side of this break.
Wait, they didn't show us the stats. Stats? 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 I wanted to see the stats. They showed us the stat. They showed us the mid stats. Yo, black hair. Appreciate that's a prime sub, my friend. How you doing? And Os Titan. Appreciate that's a new tier 1 sub, my friend. Oh, it's good. It's fine, Wonderland. It's okay. It's okay. I think I got some. I had my YouTube team find out, and we might have some. I think NRG fucked up their ults though. Flarked. They flarked up their ults. I don't know why, but did you guys see that? It was very questionable. They sent a Namor out there. Then the Namor ult hit TTK, and then TTK just got up like he tripped, and then he was perfectly fine, full health and everything. And they didn't even collapse on him ulting. I don't know. YouTube team goated FR. True. Best YouTube team hands down. But who do you guys think is going to win? 100 Thieves or NRG? That was 100 Thieves map pick. They barely won their map pick. Remember, they almost got full held. Now it's NRG's map pick. NRG could go to their favorite map, and they could beat 100 Thieves now. I don't know, man. Going to be a good one, man. Going to be a good one. Do they still target TTK on bans? I think you do. Dude, NRG didn't play that map bad, bro. They almost, like I said, chat, they almost held 100 Thieves. Almost. They kind of dropped the ball, but they... Still gonna be a good game. Still gonna be a good game. I don't think NRG needs to be ban Gambit. Because who do you want? It's either you ban Gambit first and the other team saves Devil Dinosaur, or you ban Devil Dinosaur and the other team gets Gambit, but you have a Devil Dinosaur of your own. So yeah. Okay, let's see this, chat.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. History finds a way to repeat itself as once again 100 Thieves takes the middle ground at Museum of Contemplation, just like the preseason, forcing our third map.
Do I play in the MRC? No, chat. I'm a streamer, bro. I literally
on the
don't
right
have
track
time to
in
play
this
in
middle
MRC.
ground that has been the grouping. They continue to find themselves.
I like
on.
streaming.
And just to
I
say,
don't like
guys,
to do
first of all, you got
anything
Delena doing
just
the
like
classic Thanos kneel. Fine, I'll do it myself. Right, just going crazy on the Phoenix.
What decides which team can pick two maps to the other team's one? So no team picks two maps first. Usually the first map is a King of the Hill that's already predetermined, so both teams know what King of the Hill they're already playing and they practice for that. But whoever loses that map then picks the next map, whichever game mode they want. Since you already played King of the Hill, you cannot go back to King of the Hill. So usually in a best of 3, if you play King of the Hill first, you either you have to pick a convoy or convergence next. If in this case 100 Thieves picked a convoy, now NRG has the choice of a convergence map, any convergence map that they want that's in the map pool. So basically TLDR, whoever loses has the map choice.
Still, and it allowed the duelists to do their thing. I know you guys are going to talk about that in a moment. The duelists were free range all the time, and they were lights out.
Real quick.
Yes, Self, I was saying in the green room, Self might be one of the most important players in this entire tournament. The way that he can swap quickly from dive into that Star-Lord pick, like if you were to get rid of that group ban and would have changed it to Star-Lord, that whole third point would have looked a whole lot different. Easy to see, hindsight 2020. But really, for me, Vicky, it's this battle of the trenches, Chai versus Delena, and how well they do against each other. And then it is constantly this Stinkers versus Self kind of battle.
Yeah, it is, and I think the focus onto Chime, I mentioned it in the broadcast where we saw the ban onto Chime's Phoenix showing that respect, and then you have the Bucky coming out and getting focused down too. You match that with Delena popping off, not only dealing so much of that damage output, you were saying it, Cozy, perfectly in the green room. I'm just going to wrap up and do it myself if I have to, and that's literally what Delena came in and packed the rest of the map for 100 Thieves.
For sure, and they continue to kind of, I would say if I'm NRG, I would probably stick with a lot of the same, pick bans that they went with, and they're, slowly cleaning it up. You have the Daredevil save in there, which I think is still, completely fine. You don't want to lose in that direction. Self going Black Cat, able to shut down like the invisibility relic and even somewhat of the TP because you're going to be able to track that to success there. So we'll see how they kind of clean up the back end of their pick ban. I think the front is fine, but taking a look at the stats speaks for itself. It's kind of crazy how well Chime was able to work in that Namor ship. I know you talked about that. It's like, it was a very unconventional pick, especially with, not being a lot of synergy there in that midpoint, but it worked out to success.
Yeah, I think, the idea behind 100 Thieves, after they lost all those Vanguards, it was use the Gambit and then everybody play your own life composition. You have so much movement in this team. TTK is going to be on that Van pool. You got Vinny on the cap. They all have their own solutions for overhealth. Delena with a reset off of ultimate, Self with the flight. And so what they were trying to do is constantly dive. So a good answer to that, like you're saying, to Chime on that Namor, the idea being just to slow things up a little bit, make them think, make them have to look at squids instead of always being on that back line. So it did work and slow it up a bit, but it just wasn't quite enough.
For sure. And when you have a match that close, right, like razor thin, right, there's little things. I know one of the casts is like, I think the Fox went in, I think it was Aztec, right, or Hoodie against Vinny, and just that quick attention grab ended up
Delena, oh my god,
like,
bro, 53,000? TTK was 30
that can happen,
3?
Self staying alive, right?
Oh my god, Delena and TTK looking like they're looking like Jay3 out there dominating.
NRG, you can hold your head high, and now you've got the power, right? That's the big thing about best of 3. Winning that first map, Vicky, is having that power on your side now to take it to the home base that you feel most comfortable in.
Yeah, if anything, now this is going to be a priority
what's up,
onto
Bree?
what they could deal with when it comes to shutting down Delena. You saw that damage output was like 53k plus in terms of damage output that we saw too.
Wait,
and the backline
is that
wasn't
guy's
struggling
name
if you're talking
Dick
about energy
Sweat?
side of things, but we're seeing the weaknesses shine from 100 Thieves backline. If you let them just have the Gambit again, you saw them swap off the Loki. That is already an indicator that they may not feel confident in having the double Rager Royal Flush. Instead, relying on having that Y-Fox, which by the way is still very great, but it comes to finding that Kumio Unleash, getting melted in an instant from one of these duelist ultimates too. And we saw that at one point, right, with the Galactic Legend at one point looking at the Kumio Unleash. It didn't even last for like 2 seconds before it was completely reset. And that's something that goes hand in hand when you have a best of 3 on our hands and you're going onto this last map.
Yeah, I think we're so used to like giant heal circle, keep everybody alive. Doesn't work that way with White Fox. A great ult, right? But especially that with Gambit, you're kind of leaning into the full offensive, right? If you will. Same with, Loki, but you do have some key abilities there, Shib. I would say, I think Winnie was the one there that wanted to see a little bit of cleaned up play and kind of see what way that they are going to adjust that backline, because they are going to get Gambit again. I think that is going to be safe. Do you then go towards the Delena on the back half of that, right?
Wait, Matt, chat, do we know what map we're going to?
Get the Phoenix ban
Did they say
of
what
time,
map we're going to?
Like, how do you attack this pick ban that we're going to go into here?
Yeah, I think depending on the map, you're not going to have to get rid of the Emma as much. You're not going to have to necessarily get rid of the Groot, so that does enable them to go after the duelists a little bit, and I think we might see that as we head into the ban phase shortly. But it's going to be Hall of the Jalia for map 3 here for Convergence, and I want to see what the selection is going to be. Again, I don't think you need to get rid of some of that Vanguard stuff.
Interesting pick, right? I knew we weren't going to go back to Shin Shibuya. I think that was more of a velocity pick back in that preseason, but I do think I'd like the pick here because you can allow China to kind of own a bit of that high ground, and it's a bit more of a map that you can control. I think this is such an interesting choice. One of my favorite kind of battleground maps, if you will, to decide a series. I think there's so many moments of that momentum and change that just gets me hype and is well worth it here between these teams, because this is one of those like must-win games. I know it's early, it's day 3, but if we're being honest, like this is that middle of the pack, the games that you gotta win, or we're gonna end up with that same situation. Ship, here we go. We've got the first bans. It's more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what we would expect. I think we're going to see the Mantis ban cross board, potentially Luna
I
again.
really don't think
Again,
Devil Dinosaur is
very
that much of
I
a
think
ban.
That's where things are going to shift.
I don't know. That's just me personally.
But Delena was an absolute demon on that hero. And then if you do go to the Phoenix, you can run that rocket that you found success with on map 1. I think that's the solution for NRG.
Yeah, so the Mantis is probably going to follow this. 100 Thieves gets go back to back. They've been at least doing that here recently, unless they want to take away a key strat here that the map that NRG took them to.
You hate this
might
map.
Win its
this
hand.
map's not even
so
bad.
Assuming this is the Mantis ban,
this
what
is a
it
great
is,
map.
Vicky,
I love playing
that
this
first
map.
save being so important for them, right? They've been giving that to, slots that they feel important. Where do you think they're going to go here?
If anything, maybe do you want to find your... I mean, we have Delena who is so flexible. Maybe trying to focus on your strategist.
They're going to save Gambit.
TTK to try to pop off and something
save Gambit.
TTK, could provide. I mean, even though TTK has been doing amazing, by the way,
Gambit
on the
been
van
saved.
pool, it's going to be them protecting the Gambit again.
I think Gambit,
and
Star-Lord will go
the fact
hard.
That rely on this still, and it's
Gambit, Star-Lord will go hard on this map.
I feel like NRG is still going to focus down on TTK's lineup.
Yeah, I think even though you could be a bit weaker as a team to have Gambit, you still have to have that protect because it is giving you so much with
and
that
then they're going to
already,
ban
so
Emma Frost.
And you are going to still get that save. Interesting thought though, like, yeah, they could have maybe like, okay, you're going to use a ban on Gambit as well. They would have. Luna being banned on that side then opens up the door here. I think this is one of the more important ones.
Phoenix
after you get
and
this
Luna.
Save. There's the early Delena hit. That's what we were talking about, Shib.
Yeah, I think that's a necessity. Now, they could get crazy for 100 Thieves and get rid of the rocket and essentially negate that
save
idea.
Emma or save Star-Lord. Emma or Star-Lord,
yeah,
in my
that's
opinion.
A huge ban against Lena, who played lights out. I mean, so much damage on the last map.
So do you go save for Vanguard here and then you ban the Daredevil? That's probably where I would go with 100 Thieves. Yeah, okay, so you've got the Emma. TTK's comfortable. So you've got your kind of baseline anchor
going on Emma Frost chat, and they banned Star-Lord. That's a huge ban. They banned Star-Lord and Phoenix. That's huge.
I think it's perfect, but you get the save going to NRG, and it's on the Phoenix, which is good for the front to back.
That is they saved TTK's character, but they got rid of both of them, like both really strong DPS.
As we see what this last man is going to be for 100 Thieves, but
dude, I think I don't want to be a downer, but I think 100 Thieves might lose this.
Denying the Phoenix now away from Delena will probably prompt the die of a composition that we're going to have. So the Daredevil is going to be the next ban, and that's big because this could also possibly prompt the Black Cat, right? Because we know that Daredevil could mark exactly where the Black Cat is in invisibility.
this will be a full-on self-class. Like, hey, your Star-Lord's gone, and it's now on your shoulders. You're going to have Black Hat Rain, and it's definitely going to go towards that direction. Might be somewhat of a flex of the Ultron in there, but I think that's the way they're going to go with Emma now being at disposal as well. That's
they
just
can
free
still
reign
play
with the
Blade.
Telly.
It's
There's a lot
okay.
of cheeky ways that you could place this on this map, too, because the conventional kind of lanes are tough here on some options, and then you can have that other TP save for later. One of the great things
they could play
the
Elsa.
heroes.
Yeah, they might play Elsa.
Our best of 3.
But Elsa
Jay3,
Gambit?
100 Thieves, NRG Shock. Last time Shock came away with the win. Can 100 Thieves get revenge?
I think this is just a good fix from bans from both sides. And this is the beauty of these teams. I love the adapting. I don't think this is necessarily something that would have happened in preseason. I mean, teams kind of fell in their set in their ways in the ban phase. What do you think, Vicky?
I 100% agree with you, Shib.
Squirrel Girl's available,
more
bro.
More that pressure in a best of 3 where, you know, like, okay,
I know you guys are trolling, but did you guys know that I think Black Widow has a 100% win rate right now in the tournament because YWL pulled her out and they won with her, so Black Widow has a 100% win rate in Marvel Rivals Ignite, so you know what that means. Play Black Widow, she's broken.
Great low-key point, too, when you're starting things off on the defensive side of things, and now we're going to see the portal play already open up from window.
And portal's going in to set them up. You can see the Dino going to be there for Madara on the engage. Heavy start here, keeping it on the low side, not playing safe with it, instead taking the fight right to him, forcing them to essentially spawn switch here. Still dancing on point, no takes so far. Height being owned by Chime on the right side. Great movement here by 100 Thieves to stay calm in this craziness. But Stinkers on that Wolverine. We know how strong that could be into something like Groot. Very low, able to stay with that passive somehow, going down to 7 HP as Chime finds self in the back.
Ring-a-ding here as Chime is looking.
Yo, Chime, that looked like my aim for a second, man. I need you to lock in.
Wrapped behind 100 Thieves here, and with Winnie also lingering in the back, it's controlling more of that space here, allowing Vinny to walk away, being on this route, trying to control more of the space with these walls too. And Aztec is right around the corner from having to see ya.
100 Thieves did a good job maintaining that presence, being down a number. The huge tackle comes through, holding on to that jump. He is going to fall there as Aztec cleans that up. Madara onto TTK and NRG early on like this. Looks like they will be taking point 1. Oh, the border. No, that's it.
Oh, deleted here from the back end. No stall potential and no ability for 100 Thieves to come back onto this point. NRG with
this
a
is going to be
strong
hard.
Start here on the attack. Speed running this payload. 5 minutes in the time bank.
I will be very impressed if 100 Thieves wins this, but I think NRG is going to win this. I think they messed up their ban phase. I mean, look at the ban phase, chat. Why would 100 Thieves ban? Oh, they fixed it. Damn
Wolverine
it.
is very strong in this meta. There's certain comps where you just really can't run him, but outside of that, he can just delete vanguards from the pool where you just cannot play them. I think Emma's definitely playable, but it's still dicey.
It showed Gambit bans, and then Daredevil.
Impact that lands on a few. Can they clean that up?
Devil Dinosaur.
Like it said, Madara's able to find one. Delena takes out Hoodie, but it doesn't matter. Delena's been deleted. Bang! Down goes the End Song Inferno. That one just gets rid of some of the clones, but not much else, as Winnie is forced backwards on that Loki.
The fact that they've lost out on Hoodie and no invisible boundary and still held their ground here, the way that 100 Thieves now are forced to back away, and the way that Chime has been putting in the pressure in these different off angles, enabling Stinkers, who's looking for the next victim, misses out on the kidnap from the back end, tries to force out the diamond form, and together with a Raging Royal Flush off the copy, the Eye of Agamotto, it stuns Winnie, but Winnie stays alive right through the onslaught of that pressure. TTK shuts down window in the middle.
Yeah, TTK going to use that Carbon Crusher to slow up the pace of the Eye. Chime able to find one after the fact, though. Is going to put NRG still in an aggressive position as Madara runs down with that ultimate. Aztec going to answer with a Sia. Raging Royal flushes out as well. Winnie holding on as both flushes. Will it be enough on the defense? Still being driven backwards. Not enough pressure. Itself falls as Hoodie cleans that up in the back line.
You know what I think the problem is with 100 Thieves? I think NRG is trying to target ban TTK, so that means 100 Thieves needs to save a character for TTK, but that's where they fail at, because as soon as you save a character for TTK, then you get both of those like strong DPS banned, which is Star-Lord and Phoenix. So that might be a huge issue. I do think NRG has the better bans here.
You get pulled in. Delena follows up with the grapple, and you have nowhere to run if you are Stinkers. 100 Thieves, they plant their feet on this defense, and they stop the momentum away from NRG.
Although I do think that the Gambit Loki composition is just really, really good. I think it's even better on offense, where you can kind of time fights better for yourself. I think it's more tricky to run on defense, especially when you have a very mobile front line like Vinny on that cap and you're running Loki Outside of that, though, still
You do not win games through
that will
bans.
show some success likely on offense, but either way, Ultimate's going to be even
Bans
now.
have a
Chime and Self.
huge
Self's gonna start
impact
now.
on the
Wendell
game,
let
brother.
Out, heading towards backline, going to have a ton of focus. Can they clean up off this? And there's Chime coming in from the sky. Vinny able to find one with Hoodie. Chime does not seem to find Purchase, but Window cleans up one side. Light as Vinny falls now, and the numbers are even.
Finally, I can use chat. I'm sorry, man. Welcome. Just a little PSA. Sorry to all the new followers and everyone out there. There's a loser chat botting a lot of the Marvel Rivals streamers with a bunch of hate raids, spamming some very bad stuff. So that's why I have it on a week follower limit. So just as a heads up, I'm sorry, but we have to do it. I love you guys though.
Visible boundary is
You
out.
can bypass the 1 week follower limit though if you sub.
The feast could be massive. Stinker is going to likely use that Sia to try to deal a ton of damage. And goodbye. So Delena is one, but the Royal Flush is out from Winnie.
Yo,
Can they
Saba,
get the stall?
people are not
there's
always
just too much
here,
pressure.
man.
There it is again. Self falls with some disgusting aim from Stinkers, who's still maintaining this presence. Still holding on to the point, but they get it. That's going to be point 2 here from NRG on this attack, even through that Royal Flush. Actually, 2 of them.
3 minutes for
Madara
last
is
phase.
chomping on 100 Thieves too. This Devil Dino, and you got the rampage to add as you are approaching this 3rd and final points. It's a reset here for 100 Thieves. Delena.
My problem with 100 Thieves is how are you going to save Gambit but not save anything that's good to combo with Gambit, bro? I love TTK, but they should have saved their what do you call it? Save on
do what you want to do on Black Cat.
Star-Lord.
Trying to take advantage of that, but it's a little bit too late. Delena is going to go in on that Punisher, just provide a ton of damage for the front line of the Dino. That is Madara, and that's a pretty big countering situation. His job is to pretty much just shoot Vanguards, which isn't always what you want to do. Chime able to find one, and Vinny, speaking of shooting Vanguards, goodbye to the front line. 100 Thieves once more. No ults available as Window and Chime both are ready, and this is looking like NRG could get all 3 points with time on.
With these ultimates too, just to clear up that extra space now. Look at Chime's positioning here up on the high ground. You see the reset too from Window, the piece of the abyss.
They're spawn camping him. They pushed them so far back into spawn. Oh,
are just trying to reposition Chime. Nobody is looking at him, and they are clearing up 100 Thieves. So much pressure. Madara with the grab. They cannot even get through this choke as NRG speed run their way into the finish
should
line.
I just
a minute and 48 seconds
should I just give the points out now, chat?
Wow, wow, wow. I mean,
I feel like I should give NRG the points now,
trying to find a
bro.
solution that really, again, we talk about the success of the Gambit copy. Composition is great on offense. It's not as much in your pacing on defense. We saw there on point 2, they used both Royal Flushes to no avail. Just some really good focus by the duelist line of NRG when it comes to Chime and Stinkers to clean them up. Chime has not gone down a single time, and neither has Aztec.
This is actually insane. Like, the way that Chime is just getting enabled to 17-0, 12,000
You know what?
damage put on the board, even with TTK dealing a good chunk of that damage, and Delena was 16.
You know what I'm gonna do?
It's difficult.
I'm just gonna
out
say
here.
that
It's
I
not
won
like
this bet.
100 Thieves could really lean onto that Phoenix, right? Maybe changing things up instead.
Sorry,
but it's
I don't think they're winning, bro.
From NRG.
And this is one of those times
I
where
don't
I just
think
want to
they're winning.
reiterate, like, we talk about a lot of the strategists being really strong, but Aztec is just lights out on Rocket. I mean, both maps that Rocket was available without
And someone
the Phoenix
said the ban
opposition,
phase
it was
doesn't have
just insane play.
any
It's
value on the
most
game.
by far in the
I
lobby.
would say
Not
it's
a ton
like
of damage, but you
60%
rarely
ban
can
phase,
unless you're going
40%
into a Dino
gameplay.
comp and you really want that extra damage, but outside of that, just farming all
Ban
after
phase has a
all, using that
huge,
with your
it's very
duelists to make
huge,
sure they're
very
getting the
huge.
most impact off that Endsong Inferno and the Galactic Legend. It's just some clean play. Looking for a portal off map here, folks. We'll see what they elect to do.
I was always looking for these cheeky portal plays as he's gonna see if he could let it rip. Nope, maybe too little too late. Instead of just swapping over to the Devil Dino, didn't see the opportunity, didn't want to force it, and is now gonna make the swap up before going right back together with the rest of the team on defense. Ooh, Delena too on the Elsa.
I love this skin.
And we're gonna see now, Delena is making a switch, like you're saying, onto that Elsa. This could be anti-Vanguard frontline stuff. You can use that to try to off-map the Dino, force him into a weird spot with the Glartrox. But this is attack strategy, though, owning the left side of height at the moment, building up ultimates quickly. Winnie also on that Jeff, another answer to that front line.
The way that Chime is positioned too, waiting and looking at Delena. And we don't really get to see too much Elsa too after the nerfs, right? You see Phoenix coming in with all these buffs, but it's again something that 100 Thieves just cannot utilize after it gets banned against them. A nice anti onto Madara. Can they capitalize off of this, allowing 100 Thieves to just
The gun on this skin sounds so nice too, bro.
Yeah, and they do have some good presence right now. Already 66% on this point. Vinny to be on that van pool now, applying pressure to the back line. Able to
Nice
take out
kill.
Hoodie. Use that iframe to buy more time as they're looking to peel, but it won't last long. Looks like they might be able to take this thing quickly.
Oh! Okay, Vinny popping off. Vinny popping off.
And Sneakers off maps right there. That's 10.1 quickly from 100 Thieves who are out for blood.
She said Sneakers taking himself out, and then I noticed.
Okay, wait a minute.
Literally took himself
100
out
Thieves
of the
just
map.
woke
But
up.
it's fine now with NRG taking the ability now to back away, and 100 Thieves now just clearing the rest of the point. The Elsa swap actually proving itself and showing that it's working out for 100 Thieves, and you have the Glark trucks in the pocket of Delena.
Yeah, I think the idea is you do percent-based damage with the range rifle on Elsa, so it's not a bad solution. And when you don't want to necessarily run Punisher into the Dino, because the idea is you just want as much damage as possible. He's just, you know, he's got an escape with a jump, but it's also his best tool for displacement. So got to make a decision when you're dealing a ton of damage. It's a good decision. I just want to see how it works out. And yeah, I mean, just like that, goodbye.
I do think that Elsa was a good pick, though.
On to both of the
Besides
backline,
Bucky.
Winnie gets a piece of the pie, and everybody's walking forward. And 100 Thieves are stepping up. Can they keep this momentum, folks?
When you got 3 maid outfits on the team of 100 Thieves, it's clean up on aisle 3.
Three?
And Delena now
Wait,
showing
what?
up.
3 maid outfits on the team. Clean up on aisle 3. What's aisle 3, chat?
I position until you find everybody in the choke. Hoodie forced to use the invincible boundary. Can you get them pulled outside of it? No, and now they're forced to back away just in time. Winnie's still holding on to the edge, Jeff. Melani's gonna open up this fight with the Ranger Royal Flush, and Seekers is there to answer with the Galactic Legend.
The Legend goes up. The C is also committed, I believe, but TTK Millennia able to find 2, and that's a trade back from Chime on himself. Out goes that freedom charge. The It's Jeff trying to be an answer here, looking for something. Does find the off location there. Winnie able to just keep the team healthy instead and reposition them.
If they cap this is going to be bad for NRG.
Very much still in 100 Thieves' favor. As you can see, TTK just peeling that cap. Portal comes through to be a wall from the side of Madara, and now numbers are evened out once more. We'll dip back into that spot. TTK finding window is huge. It looks like they are a meter away. Aztec wrestling window right back. Vinny.
Okay, Chad, give me 1 second. I'm going to take away that check mark that I just...
And is able to keep them moving through point 2.
Vinny has only gotten better every single minute that this series has gone down, and Vinny on this van pool is going crazy as we take a quick pause before diving into the third portion of this map.
Yeah, I think the idea, as we are in this tech pause for the moment, folks, of this composition, we talked about how when you do allow Raging Royal flush through, I think having it on attack is just much more it's just much more valuable. Taking the time to understand when you want to commit the ultimate and not always using it as an answer, it allows you to just be more aggressive in the right windows.
This is a good pause. This is I don't know who paused the game, whether it's 100 Thieves or NRG, but this is a good pause. Let's ice the kicker, chat.
Like,
ice the kicker.
Jeff came in clutch with the insurance policy and helping out the rest of the team. Then Delena had popped off at the very end to get right through that choke. Had that Glartrox ready while Self is getting enabled and harassing that back line. Even dancing around the portal on the other side, TTK used that portal to his own advantage to block up the line of sight of the supports to then go around it and then find that pickoff before clearing out the point to get the second checkpoint.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? Because I commend the strategy of the Vanguard ban out that we saw early on from NRG, but then the Duelist popped off so much that they...
What the hell, man? Bro. What's going on here, chat? Am I back? Hello? 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 It says my internet's back, but my fucking internet's not back. Hello? My internet's back, but it says it's not back.
He hasn't gone anywhere, at least if your name is Delena.
This is insane. These teams are not quitting it, folks. I love coming back to the scene to cast a game like this. Just an absolute masterclass in high-level play here. You can see very even feeds across the board. KOs with 9 finals from Delena. You see 8 there from Vinny on that van pool finding success. TTK doing a good job on the Emma, peeling some of that front line pressure that we're seeing.
Chime
with
did
7,
it
Sinkers
just come
with
back?
5. It is very much anyone's game still here, folks, as we head into OT.
Because My whole
Honestly,
shit
the
was
Vanguard's
frozen.
not putting in as much damage output that we have seen at the hands of like TTK and the stall potential that we've also had right there too from Vinny, who is really popping off, by the way, on this Van pool. Combine that and the adjustments that 100 Thieves were able to make. We didn't
get to see that
side of things, and I like how they're not rolling
ever
out
since
with
the pause. I didn't
composition
see
that they
shit,
first
bro.
had when it came to them trying to force out the dive.
Oh, man. This is so crazy, Vicky. I'm stoked we're here doing this together, buddy, as we head into just this OT. Again, 3 minutes 22, 148 for NRG. They will be attacking here first, setting up.
No.
We might see a portal play, but if they do
we
commit
get
to
to
this
see
portal play
this.
early, they will not be able to touch last second. They do not have a time for the cooldown to cycle, and the major advantage from 100 Thieves is they will have that availability should they elect to try to go aggro. I was going to say it might be a safe play on portal
3.5
instead.
minutes to a minute and a
Exactly
half.
what they did last time, keep on the low side. 100 Thieves as an answer, read that like a textbook, and they're owning the height to try to shut that down.
I'm a little scared though, Shib. I mean, you're down to a minute, less than 25 seconds on the clock, and you burned the portal very early on here. Not trying to play the neutral to boost up these ultimates, and instead just take the fight straight to 100 Thieves.
I
It's gonna be worth it with
hate
that portal now
internet
on
problems,
cooldown.
bro. My
They're
internet was
slowly just
fine
trying
all
to
day,
force
and I
other
just
teams to
gave
play
us a little
incredibly split
hiccup.
up, especially with Sinkers being on this Black Cat. They've marked down the Venom. They're putting in a lot of that pressure as Elena is getting pocketed.
And Vinny just going to use some of that self-survivability, fully leveled up now to just keep the pressure on off angles. And yeah, there goes Madara. Like you said, won't have that portal back now. They really committed to this first fight. A minute available here now. And this is going to be a tough spot. Oh, the res was there, okay? There was the idea. They could play a little more aggro. Now that
It's fine,
launched
it's fine,
and
chat. We're
committed,
back,
the
we're
cooldown
back.
is gone. It's a whole new story here. Delena trying to build towards that ultimate. Imagine a Glartrox.
NRG is wasting a lot of time here as well. They got to make a move, bro. They got to bust a move.
We're gonna have to see here, Shiv, if you have the crystal ball.
Oh, that's a huge
combine
ult.
that with Chime and the extra damage output, and it's more than enough.
Ooh,
Top
hey,
roll and
NRG
damage
is
coming
showing
in
a little
from
bit of
NRG.
life.
That is exactly what they needed to lead into this win con. And now
We have
100
ourselves a
Thieves,
game here, chat. We
nobody
have ourselves
in
a
sight
game.
to contest on this point.
Oh, that is massive brain. The folks, the idea and what I miss in the moment is they're using Rocket to guarantee ult first. Rocket gets ult incredibly quickly and just farmed ultimate there. Hoodie probably taking a step back, allowing some of that healing to go Rocket's way unless it was a emergency situation. And then they just committed with the Sia, instantaneously winning that fight.
And together with that, and then you have Chime who gets the reset on the end song Inferno. It's just, again, that's the win that they really want to lean into, and it worked out.
Oh, they're
for
going
them
aggressive.
to
They used the
get
support ult
payload
really
out of
early
the
to take
barrage, and now
take
Stinkers
some
comes and
ground.
follows up with
Interesting,
Chime,
interesting.
And this is the momentum that we saw from 100 Thieves now flow in favor for NRG. Overtime ticking away means that they cannot get off this point.
There's more commitment now from Window. Does have that feast available, just biding that space, and they didn't.
Damn, chat. 100 Thieves has every single ult in the book.
Really good job.
NRG does not have a support ult for this.
TTK self dies before using ultimate. Winnie does not have the chance to press the Q button as well, and they are still going as NRG is walking. Numbers are roughly even though. Every single
100 Thieves, you're dropping, you're fumbling, bro. You're fumbling.
The heels of the back line still there from Aztec, trying to hold on. Delena's percent base damage is too much. OT should be ticking down here. The Glartrox goes out.
The Glartrox! What are you aiming the Glartrox at?
Holding on. Here himself with a mission. Goodbye to
Okay,
three.
they are
And they will hold
They are
it
so
before point
lucky.
two.
They are
Flipping
so
the wings
lucky
off
they
that
had
Angela
self
that we
there,
saw
bro.
for not even
They
2
are
seconds on top of that.
they are
payload from Mara after making
so
the desperate
lucky,
swap to
bro.
Try to completely contest the point.
That was a good push,
But
though.
talk
Good push,
about
good push.
Delena, you finally come back together.
Yo,
You clear
what's
the
up, Dad?
point.
How you
Sure,
doing?
let's
How you
not take
doing?
a look at that Glartrox. It hurtled itself into
20-hour
that wall,
stream?
but you're dealing
No,
just
this has
enough of that
been
pressure
8.5
to
hours, almost
allow
9.
that Punisher to come back around and utilize that ultimate to clear the rest of the bodies of NRG.
Wow. I mean, huge shouts to just the thought processes of what they were doing. That early portal was so sick with the idea of just getting ults first, winning off that first point due to just the nature of you can farm ult faster than the team if you build your composition to play that way. And that's exactly what they did. Huge brain play there.
Wondering, if they thought maybe if they were gonna try to portal back if they had the portal, which I believe it was probably still
100 Thieves win? Not yet, Dad. Not yet. Maybe. There's only 3 minutes left in the game.
And then going for the hardest college book read with that Glartrox in case they did try to open that up when they thought that maybe they had that portal play. But nonetheless, it's the way that 100 Thieves were able to reclaim that point even after losing out on Winnie, who had that invisible boundary. Now swapping sides, NRG. They're rolling out on the defensive side with Sinker still on this Black Cat.
Yeah, this is going to be an intense one here, folks. 3 minutes 22 on this attack. Far more time, roughly double what we saw there from the side of NRG. Will they use it to their advantage, electing to not early portal like we saw from the strategy of NRG? NRG is completely switch up composition. You can see, I mean, not a ton of Magneto played in this current meta, but that is going to be the case right now, as there was poke damage. There's a priority into Dino. They're not going to be running that Dino anymore at all, trying to play a little bit slower to buy more time with the Magneto. But Self, kind of reading the textbook of what might happen, gets off some of that hit scan damage and instead goes onto that Daredevil, and we know he can run it well.
Try to harass Hoodie and Aztec too. Gets information as well on that Daredevil. And calling out where Sinkers is as the counter against a Black Cat, but you're harassing the Rocket Raccoon instead before backing away. The peel comes in, but it also
Damn, that was good survivability by the Rocket. Nice. Aztec, great survivability. Dash to the health pack and everything.
Down, what a shot there from Delena, able to find Stinkers. The Black Cat gets deleted. Goodbye to the cat. Does still have 9 lives, though. Is right back into the fight from Aztec. Oh, as Madara goes down now from Delena. Great focus here. Just like the Reaper at this moment, finding anyone available and deleting them off the face of the map. Now moving forward off the pressure that is 100 Thieves front line. TTK and Vinny walking them. Self going to be there to clean it up, and they get this point quickly here. One still holding for the moment with the
2 minutes and a cap first point that fast. Oh my god, chat. Oh my god.
By Vinny on
oh
this
my god.
Too. I mean,
this is anyone's ball game.
To run to when the rest of your team is getting terrorized here. Now NRG, they don't want to stagger. They need to regroup up together to prevent this point from getting to that beautiful blue box in favor for 100 Thieves.
Holy moly, this has been an absolute banger of a series. This could be the end here, folks. A minute 40, 100 Thieves trying to build towards that ultimate. Nobody has Q available just yet. Aztec going to be close. Winnie and Millennia both going to be there. But again, folks, the Raging Royal Flush, that's on the table here. This could be everything for them, but they don't have a huge combined ultimate. Here goes that Royal Flush now. Will they get value? Yes, Selena's able to find one. Sinkers, here comes that Inferno. Bang, it does land. Goodbye to the Sia. As a counter, Delena looking for a Glartrox opportunity. Some peel, out goes the Feast. It's just going to be looking for one. Instead, going to use it to
I don't think the Glartrox hit.
Find any off-map potential there. Self takes
60
out
seconds, chat. 60
chaos.
seconds.
The numbers are evening out now. It looks like 100 Thieves are losing a little bit. Madara's able to find one, and now Chime takes out Self. And that was a lot of
60
commitment there in that
seconds.
fight. They
60
still have Self and
seconds.
TTK for the next fight, though. Remember, 100 Thieves did have the larger time bank to work off of on their attack, and now, look, they're down to less than a minute on the clock. They have 3 ultimates online, and if you're looking at NRG, Stinkers
that's not a free Daredevil ult. They have Captain America.
Have what it takes to sustain themselves. Can they kite away? Because Millennia and Winnie, especially having a Jeff, won't be able to have the H-Step to really help them out here. He just used it in the previous fight. Delena with a huge pick on Window. Now eyes are up. Great answer there by TTK to try to Psionic Seduce. And a huge ult that goes out. And wow, able to compose and stay healthy in the sky like that.
Okay, now they have a free Daredevil ult. Okay.
Focus from Hoodie.
Their Daredevil is dead at 15 seconds, and that was their only ult.
Is this possible?
Oh my god, 100 Thieves! They're fumbling! They're fumbling! 100 Thieves is looking like the fucking Lakers right now in the playoffs.
And it's too much damage.
Is that too soon?
Next to fall.
Oh
Overtime
shit!
Taking away, and the number advantage is in favor for NRG. It forces Self to swap over to Doctor Strange just so that way they can contest again with this portal play. Portal comes out. It's going to be a full reset here. Delena's able to find one now on the Psylocke in the moment. Up goes the End Song Inferno. This is going to be a problem. Use it as a distraction right now. They're essentially going to force eyes up. Bang, come down.
Nice, good focus, good focus. They have the Shark ult. They have the Shark ult.
The Abyss goes out. It's Jeff looking for some value.
Oh, the Shark
missed. Does not seem to land. Winnie is in a tough spot now. Good back focus, excuse me, by the strategist who dropped back. And now Vinny finds a pick on a Window. Numbers up in their favor. The rest comes through to even out the odds.
Oh my god, what is going on right now, bro? What is going on? This is a bloodbath.
In this battle, folks, as it's still back and forth. Oh my goodness, the cutter.
Oh! They killed the Invis! Oh shit! There's no way. TT's
up in numbers, still holding
on to this point. There's no way they actually won it. Oh my god.
Delena just flipped the script on what would have been the craziest Rocket play. Aztec was playing out of their mind. The Sia, the combo, the sustain from the BRB, and it was all for nothing because Delena and TTK with 100 Thieves in our best of 3 take our second series of the day in a very close
that was the best Dude, chat, bro. Listen. You cannot script this to be such a. That was like a grand finals game, bro. Bro. It was literally last fight. NRG was winning, and then somehow they ended up using a support ult. Then they Delena popped Psylocke ult. They got the kill on the Invis woman. They fucking turned it around, bro. Holy shit!
Shine versus Delena.
I knew 100 Thieves was gonna win.
Backline for NRG playing to perfection, coming down to the Psylocke swamp of the ult into the Invis. It was disgusting. Dude. I mean,
oh
listen,
my
there are
God.
so many things to point out on both sides there. First of all, tip of the cap on entertainment first for that matchup on both teams. Both looking all apart. NRG finding new backline and really new success. But 100 Thieves get their revenge. Vicky, I mean, let's start with the duelist, right? Because both uncomfortable. And really with Delena, let's go there. Because the Bucky, it was not having it. Let's be honest. The hit scan, though.